Only icons listen to Icon Radio.
I came, I saw, I conquered it all. Look at me now, did it all by myself. Look at me now, did it all by myself. I came, I saw, I conquered it all. Look at me now, did it all by myself. Look at me now, did it all by myself. Julius Caesar with the microphone. I'm trying to run these streets like Al Capone. I'm a gladiator with a fresh pair of Nikes on. Conquer broad like Napoleon. Don Corleone, I'm a godfather to all of y'all that never wanna watch the come up. They only wanna see you fall. They never wanna see you ball. I'm a champion, game like Michael Jordan with 6 rings. I saw, I conquered it all. Look at me now, did it all by myself. Look at me now, did it all by myself. I came, I saw, I conquered it all. Look at me now, did it all by myself. Look at me now, did it all by myself. Faster, getting money, getting honey's dreadlock, rasta. Why they talking funny, man? Your girl, you know she bummy, man. These niggas really don't understand me. My folks know what the plan be. Making dope, getting dope, call it gangrene. Me mugging it don't mean nothing. I stay hella fly with it, getting cheese, homie. Came, I saw, I conquered it all. Look at me now, did it all by myself. Look at me now, did it all by myself. Came, I saw, I conquered it all. Look at me now, did it all by myself. Look at me now, did it all by myself. Yo, I said I came, I saw, I conquered. I'm with these cartoon characters go bonkers. It's like my NY homies coming from Yonkers. Came through and shit the block up like Tonka. I'm straight on you. My whole crew is around you. The only thing well is around you. I will pound you and hand you a euro. My family won the bureaus. Beatles came, I saw, I conquered. Hero. Came, I saw, I conquered it all. Look at me now, did it all by myself. Look at me now, did it all by myself. I came, I saw, I conquered it all. Look at me now, did it all by myself. Look at me now, did it all by myself.
I say smart shit that make him go dumb. Well hung with a slick tongue on kick drums. I'm unsung, but word in the slums, I'm second to none. You plead the fifth, I'm Jimmy Cliff, the harder they come. They told me Nairobi chicks know me, I pipe. Them no good fit clone me, I'm festive, Quissy die. Some more or less, Charlie, less is more. I'm in a class of my own, that's what this lesson's for. Bye bye.
I came, I saw, I conquered it all. Look at me now, did it all by myself. Look at me now, did it all by myself. I came, I saw, I conquered it all. Look at me now, did it all by myself. Look at me now, did it all by myself.
And I'ma keep resisting through the iPods. Now by far I'm spitting what you don't listen to, so why God? Am I wrong for wanting to speak my mind through tunes? I'm laughing at the dudes who are laughing at me making moves. To break and choose action as they pray that lose, but on the agenda today will be better. If I could predict the weather, I'll say grab a sweater. When they be hating, it's like comedy. Honestly, I'm speaking for my generation logically, so follow me.
I came, I saw, I conquered it all. Look at me now, did it all by myself. Look at me now, did it all by myself. I came, I saw, I conquered it all. Look at me now, did it all by myself. Look at me now, did it all by myself. Look at me now. Look at me now. Look at me now.
Kanula, I came, I saw, I conquered. I love it, love it, love it, love it. When they're at their absolute prime, actually, when they're heading out, is when they release some of this amazing music. And of course, we are playing it right here as we do our daily throwbacks on the Breakfast Jam with your girl, Myra Maloba. we are getting into it this morning. Looking forward to an amazing show with amazing Kenyan talent and professionals. I have been lucky to have two different guests this morning, so it's going to be a bit packed, but stand by with us as we get into it. And of course, just love on Kenyan music as we have right now between 8 and 9 a.m. Be sure to tune in with us on www.iconradio.co.ke, YouTube at Icon Radio KE. For like and subscribe on all Icon Radio KE platforms. We definitely appreciate the love that we get from you guys on a daily. If you have headed onto the website, there is our widget right there for KCS. Play your lucky numbers, 6 random lucky numbers, and just place in 50 bob, between 50 bob and a K. And their daily draws that you could stand a chance of winning from. So place in your lucky number today. Yeah. Just decide you're not going to cooler that smocha. Put in that 50 bob, and you could walk around with from 10k to 5 mil depending on your lucky numbers. We also have our pay bill number, which is 292222, account Icon. Place in your lucky numbers there as well, and then stand a chance to win amazing amounts of cash daily. Well, that's right. And we're about to launch that. Look out on our pages for information on the launch of our partnership between Icon and KCS. We can't be more excited. We're going to be doing a lot of amazing things. I was about to spill on what we're about to do, but I can't just right now. But look out on our pages, look out on our website, look out on all socials, and watch that countdown as we seek to launch this amazing venture together. Speaking of things that we are doing here at Icon, we're also the proud sponsor of the Kiddie Cultural Festival that's going down on the 9th and 10th of November at the Carnival Gardens. We're seeking to celebrate diversity. So whether you're Christian, you're Muslim, you're Hindu, we are here to celebrate each and every child and parent and family through music, amazing activities, great food, great fun, a lot of dancing, dance challenges from different communities. You cannot afford to miss out on this one. It's only 300 bob for kids per day and 600 bob for parents. If you get the season tickets, you'll be able to get them at way cheaper for both days. So mark your calendars for the 9th and 10th of November at the Carnival Gardens, and we'll be having a lot of fun with kiddie karaoke. We'll be doing crafts and jewelry making and laser tag and hologram shows. Like, it's gonna be so cool. I don't know how you're gonna afford to miss out on this one, and the tickets are on the cheap. So this is something you can afford to miss out on. We're going to be having some of our partners come in studio just to tell us what good things they're going to be bringing for us on that event. Another event I got to plug is Sustainability Connect. The inaugural event is going down this 28th of November at the Nairobi's first full green hotel. That's Achacha in South Sea. And when I'm telling you it's green, it's properly green. You know, like even those two signs you put on your door for do not disturb. It is something you press a button and it will show either green for check-in or red for stay out. Like, that's how green they are. They're going paperless, they're going plasticless. Like, it is amazing to check out. So check out our Achacha hotel, and then on the 28th of November we congregate there for the Sustainability Connect forum, where we'll be talking all things ESG. I put you in the know. I put you where you're able to find out what's going down and what you need to be subscribing to as soon as possible. Now let's get into the weather this morning. 17 degrees, partly sunny, humidity at 71% in Nairobi, going up to highs of 28 degrees. Looking at a partly sunny day for Nairobi, like in that weather. From Mombasa, 26 degrees, partly sunny, humidity at 83%. And for those in Kisumu, 22 degrees, intermittent clouds, humidity at 80%, going up to highs of 31 degrees later on today. Looking like a partly sunny day for those right there down by the lake. But no matter where you are, no matter the weather, you'll always have a great day with Icon Radio. We'll be checking out a roundup on the news in just a bit. We are going to be having a special guest in just a little bit. So stand by for that. Remember, it is Soul Food Tuesday, but for now, we're going into that Kenyan vibe, and we'll be continuing on at least until the end of the show because we have amazing guests coming in, 2 amazing guests. So stand by for that. Keep it right here on the Breakfast Jam.
Got the beautiful Miss V on them vocals. Calligraph Jones in the place. Rabbit. Teamwork. Let's get it.
From outer space, out of this world, we come in peace, tell your master all. We are taking over this place right now. But bring your crew, you can let them know. We in town, they should dress up for the show. We are bringing down this town tonight, oh. In an African party, we stomp our feet on the ground. We raise our hands in the air and say, yeah, yeah, yeah. Luka, leo hatulali jo. Asubuhi mpaka kesho jo. Washanare mademu na machali tu. Usijali hali mikono juu. Luka, leo hatulali jo. Asubuhi mpaka kesho jo. Washanare mademu na machali tu. Usijali hali mikono juu.
Fame, karibu. Fame, karibu.
Imagine, hivyo ndo muingianga kwa klabu au jasikia tunakula life na adabu na masela sela wana hela umenijazka hiu mase hela ni jui basi tela ni king kaka king of Zamunda tuko ndani na tumedunga kaka clothing we bado mtumba mina manager tuko tight anajua mini spend thrift meza drinks nimezipanga kama Tetris.
In an African party, we stomp our feet on the ground. We raise our hands in the air and say, yeah, yeah, yeah. Luka, leo hatulali jo. Asubuhi mpaka kesho jo. Washanare mademu na machali tu. Usijali hali mikono juu. Luka, leo hatulali jo. Asubuhi mpaka kesho jo. Washanare mademu na machali tu. Usijali hali mikono juu.
Bro, check it, yo, I go like boom, 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 boom. Mikono kwa hewa nikifika tu kwa boom, 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 boom. As I be rolling when I be the cruise, so boom, boom, get out the way. I'm feeling like money today. I'm here to pour it up all over the club, I'm willing to pay, so that's how I plan to go and tap it. Hey y'all, fee what up, let's make it happen. I'm here to get it crackin'. Shorties are telling me that I'm attractive, cause they be feeling the swag, I'm classic. Call me Papa Jones, and that's it. That's it.
Luka, leo hatulali jo. Asubuhi mpaka kesho jo. Washanare mademu na machali tu. Usijali hali mikono juu. Luka, leo hatulali jo. Asubuhi mpaka kesho jo. Washanare mademu na machali tu. Usijali hali mikono juu. Luka,
Sai mna play state sisi tulishi vyediambo. I wish ni grant we wish nishi. Usimo ilikuwa imagination dufa mpara ro. Wacha vile watu wanaswaga sai. Tuli dance lingala, kofi, olo, awilo na wemba papa. Kasibano all day, nindai za wire. Kwa betani skume, au tudandie peka. Block yetu yote, ni homoja ilikuwa na VCR. Movies za Bruce Lee, au sanane mavioke. BMX kingia mtani, si yako ni yetu. Tukichoka kuomba lap, ni kwenda indama ndugu. Kila mtu alifuga dosh au sungu chau dogi nitwa Taska Rex au Simba. Bado siku leo ni tausi au tamaki. Sazo nimesanja ngovo ya mada baki ya karanga. Saina reminisce nikikumbuka. Reminisce.
Sijui nianze wapi.
This is hip hop.
Nimeona vitu mingi sijui nianze wapi. Jutu kiluzeriko na ngash nilikubali. Maisha si milele na kifo haiko mbali. Ni hali ya dunia na sote tuko safari. Ndo maana natafuta niweze geuza na pali nimetoka na jua nafika. Napata nakumbuka maisha yangu zamani. Kuishi Isili karibu na kina Haji. Enzi za pushback na kungara jeans. Pia kupigwa cut wengine kuacha. Vako za dangariku bishana juu ya mamanzi. Ni nani ameiva ni nani akona chali. Wasekugusa bolde za mitaya. Kabla nijue Niki, kabla Hari Kimani. Siku za Keishaka mizizi na uko flani. Bado najikumbusha siku nazitamani. Sijui nianze wapi.
This is hip hop.
And everybody say, I remember way back when. And everybody say, I remember way back when. And everybody say, I remember way back when. When? Back in the days. What? Back in the days. And everybody say, I remember way back when. And everybody say, I remember way back when. And everybody say, I remember way back when. When? Back in the days. What? Back in the days.
Back to the old school King Kaka right there. Of course, I'm loving it because see me, I'm a person of hip hop, I'm a person of the vault, so definitely loving on that track. Takes me back a while. It's even great to hear that kind of music because a lot of guys are coming back. We have Wu-Tang coming back because we had Ghostface Killer remove a song just the other day. We had LL Cool J with Eminem doing their thing, which was absolutely amazing magic to see. MC Light, Missy doing her first tour. My gosh, it's been amazing. You know, like even locally we have Kevo K-Force, MC Sharon. My word, hip hop is just getting what it needs to get and just giving that injection, okay? And then just to hear the news the other day, Tribe Called Quest is gonna be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. How dope is that? I am here for it. The last few years, hip hop artists have been seeing themselves being inducted more and more. Last year was Jay-Z and Missy. The year before that was LL Cool J. Like, listen, I could go on and on and on and on and on, but be sure to listen to me tomorrow on The Surge, where I'll be giving you all the details of how it's going to be going down for this year's inductees of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Yes. But for now, let's take a quick look at the roads this morning. Yesterday was nice and clear. Today we're not so lucky. Traffic has indeed begun as soon as 6 a.m. Yes. Now for those on Jogo Road, it is quite heavy on the traffic already. Especially when you're coming up and past Makadara, past KPLC houses, going into the city center. However, it evens up just a little bit up the city stadium, then begins to build up right again past Karioko. Now, if we go into Langata Road, seems to be heavy already from around the Nairobi Safari Walk. Eases up a little bit and then picks up right again into Uhuru Gardens and all the way until Timo. It's just slow moving traffic. Going into Nyayo Stadium, also at all intersections, quite heavy on the traffic today. So guys, if you're not out of the house, map your routes now because it's not looking nice. Lusaka Road, also pockets of traffic here and there. Bunyala Road also looking quite heavy on the traffic, but when the cops give you a PR, you're good to go. So take advantage by heading out of the house right now. Mombasa Road seems to be quite fine. That is until you get to Nyayo Stadium roundabout, but you guys don't seem to be in such a bad place. For those who are on Ngonga Road, it seems to be heavy on the traffic from around Prestige, actually from Junction. It's actually starting from Junction, going up until Adams and all the way into the Daystar roundabout. But it does seem to be moving here and there. If you are heading towards Waiyaki Way, just a little bit of traffic around Chiromo. It continues on a little bit past the Westlands roundabout, but it is up as you go towards ABC Place. Lastly, Thika Road is Thika Road. It is hot and heavy traffic all the way from Garden City past Muthaiga Square heading into Ngara. So I would suggest you use Forest Road also, although Forest Road seems to be backed up as well. So yes, this morning is quite heavy on the traffic. If you do see any accidents or incidents, be sure to let us know on +254 788 380030. I said back into the music. When we come back, we'll be looking at our dailies as Gachagwa's woes continue and his story is told from the last 2 weeks going into today. I'd love for you to get to the conversation. +254 788 380030 is my number. And if you go into our comment section right there on YouTube, we'll be able to chop it up. Keep it right here on The Breakfast Jam.
Yes, double HP, Jabba man. Achacha Empire. My man Rabbit, Wangeshi. Where you at? Why? Bass. How it is. Yo, Refeleti. So the Fichile Repeleti easy. More Pukile Emeti easy. Only spinning them. Retanya Machoma Redira Whiskey. Kachubariga Ugali Wariti. Mataska Baridi. Repesa Midi. Tuba body beady. Maladi CD. Go Maraho by Geteta. By Tereta Gamawata Badizi. Haseba Leba. Talabu busy. Vista Mwana. Twista Mwana. Come by the crib. Call Mr. Hisabana. Chica by the gig. We doing it like the bread. Lemanja. Shop around. How I let them punch about the Kenya Rambanza. Clubs are old fashioned. People all showing you love with no passion. Come to the crib. No need to bring cash in. But you can bring action. So beat the Marobana. Bayana Bale Bamarama. Your whole squad, your Horatanama. Fill the whole bar for Manyoraga.
Okay. Hello. Mambo. Uko. Aje. Basi vaka ujadunga. Sangapi unadunda. Kuna mafisi hapa. Mifupa utakuta. Una speak body language. Sielewi hiyo lugha. Drinks on the house. Sio ni true story. Leta action, leta fashion. Zingine VIP na HHP. Tuko ndani ya ikulu. Slang, swag, Tswana na Zulu. Corridor zimesona. Drinks nyamchoma. Niko na my current. Ana cheki my ex. Mina check the next. Atakuwa my latest.
Clubs are old fashioned. People all showing you love with no passion. Come to the crib, no need to bring cash in. But you can bring action.
Akina pro call jea tutulia tu. Wale wako na kerere tulia tu. Lewa sana ngoja mchana tulia tu. Umeleta mtaa yote tulia tu.
Wangeshi Simsima, who's got the keys to my bima? I'm on an another level, ni akili tunapima. So with my hands with that I can bring action, and he can bring cash in. And then we start dancing before he starts leaving. A little bit of sip, a little bit of that. Man utakila sambuka BOYB. So tonight get on like it's 99. Ikona kila mudu that I need on my side. I got my guns, I got my man, and a good grade of high. Hini nacha kudharau, nacha kusahau. I said it.
Clubs are old fashioned. People all showing you love with no passion. Come to the crib, no need to bring cash in. What you can bring action.
Itaweta na mpishi. Ita fans call my friends. Call Kaka double HP. No +1 invites only. Yeah. Clubs are old fashioned. People all showing you love with no passion. Come to the crib, no need to bring cash in. You can bring action.
Barua toka jana Mogi na Kenyatta, wanauliza kama Kenya kuko sawa. Nikawajibu Kenya tuko na disaster, watoto wetu wanazidi kuzikana. Na Tomboya ameshika tama, alituacha kama angali kijana. Je, angekuwa mambo yangekuwa sawa? Ndivyo walivyopanga Maulana. Deni mulizoacha bado tunalipa, na tumekopa zingine China. Tukajenga reli pia barabara, zilizobaki watu wakasanya. So tujiangalie, tuko pabaya leo kuliko jana. Sikio la kufa halisikii dawa, tuko kwa Twitter tunajibizana. Tujiangalie bande, tuko pabaya leo kuliko jana. Tusipoziba ufa tutajenga kuta, tusake zetu tungali vijana.
Waumini kwa matrina, pasi kwa bima, kushoto fungu la 10 sadaka kulia. Ndio maana mbele ya kanisa mheshimiwa anakula sakramenti kabla ya raia. Siku za mwisho zimeshawadia, na revelation inatuambia hii generation inachoma picha. Ni generation yetu, so tujiangalie. Tuko pabaya leo kuliko jana, sikio la kufa halisikii dawa. Tuko Twitter tunajibizana, tujiangalie. Tuko pabaya leo kuliko jana, tusipoziba ufa tutajenga kuta. Tusake zetu tungali vijana.
Mishuki alisema tufungeni mikanda, ona leo twavuna tulichopanda. Kura zetu zilitugawanya, makabila na pesa pia tulimanga. So when you make your bed, usingizi gani tumelala? Tutajua tujui, Vision 2030 tabaki ni story. Tujiangalie, tuko pabaya leo kuliko jana. Sikio la kufa halisikii dawa, tuko kwa Twitter tunajibizana. Tujiangalie, tuko pabaya leo kuliko jana. Tusipoziba ufa tutajenga kuta, tusake zetu tungali vijana.
Dosi aliniambianga freedom never comes for free. We vote tribe ama real cash, ask Boni. Tuna Roma lia mwezi tajesu plus dogi. Wal mzima Twitter keotindo fast body. Ban pictures in Africa, black coffee and none. I'm richer than my neighbor but we're both in a slum. If the rich always win, why should the popular run? Unless democracy ni what you say my own little fun. Yeah. Na hii weekend tuko church tunauza sura kabisa. Post ya haga wenda poa sana na caption ya scripture. Kayo ndo gospel pitisha bagi ya sadaka kwa club. Yeah. Traffic madragu baindai, traffic mandai zina drag. Kwa maya mwizi amemake stories za shamba amegrab. Kono inahonga imevaa bracelet ya colors za flag. Yeah.
Tunaenda safari ndani ya mbali, ukiwaza kunimisi madam, tabasam kidogo. And every stage and every song I play, every fan that will scream my name, I will always be with you in my heart, I will miss you forever. My days are long, my nights so cold, I miss your touch, I miss your love. I'm coming home.
Wherever I go, you're on my mind all the time. I miss you, Mpenzi. I miss you, ma chérie. Even with all the girls, all the work, all the time I spend away, always know I love you, baby. My one and only. My days are long, my nights so cold, I miss your love, I miss your touch. I'm coming popote ulipo, mina kuwaza mama, popote ulipo sheriwe, you are my only lady, narudi salama. Woo, woo, woo. Nakozonga kala mingi te, bolingo na ngai, popote ulipo, mina kuwaza mama, popote ulipo sheriwe, you are my only lady, narudi salama. Oyo, yo, yo, salama. Hey, my days are long, my nights are cold, I miss your love, I miss your touch, baby. My days are long, my nights are cold, and I miss your love, baby. I miss your touch, your touch.
We are showing love for the 254 right here on the Breakfast Jam with your girl, Myra Maloba. We are taking a look at the dailies this morning. It just seems that Gashagwa is under Siege, and under Siege, let me tell you, he is not resting anytime soon. But you know, again, mixed reactions from Kenyans. I was reading today a status from Susan Kibukosia. Now she calls herself Susan Gishuki, but Gishuki. But she put out a statement and was like, how dare Rigathi Gachagua compare himself to Matiba, and kind of alluded to the fact that he had a hand in kind of like torturing the wife at her home in Limuru while he held a position of power. So again, there are a lot of mixed feelings, and it's hard. It's hard for Kenyans to truly reflect on it together, because there are those people who are feeling really sorry for him, feeling really sorry for the wife who was out there crying. Hey, yeah. And there are those who are saying, well, it is what it is. Again, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think was what happened to Gachagua? And just as Boniface Mwangi was pointing it out, good or bad, he said, doesn't matter, he shouldn't have gone through what he went through. Now, for today's Daily Nation, I was reading about this also on socials. At the very top, shock of Sonko holding titles for affordable housing land. That's on page 12. Now, the former governor is still in possession of 2 title deeds for parcels on which the government is putting up affordable housing units, Nairobi City County team told. Where? This is Kenya. So read that story on page 12. We have in bold at the very top as well how Treasury is abetting 437 billion Adani secret deals. Now, what is the fault? They say Treasury is allowing agencies to go for specially permitted procurement procedures. That's SPPP model. It also says in the image over there, opaque. Treasury has taken advantage of a loophole in procurement laws to secretly enter into contracts without going through a competitive process, sparingly used in the Kibaki and Uhuru eras. The little known clause has now become the foundation on which at least 4 controversial multi-billion shilling tenders with companies that have ties to Indian conglomerate Adani Group are built. Remember again, during the parliament proceedings, the whistleblower, I can't remember his name, but he kind of like tied the Adani deal to Schiff. He said there was a connection because the guy leading Schiff connected government officials with Adani, and it shows clearly, or kind of like points to what this is saying, that there has been, an unsaid hush clause that now is being put into play to make such multi-billion deals go through. Now, on you can find that on page 10. Then moving on to page 4, Gachagua raises a storm over cases. He raises a storm over cases. And seemingly he is still raising questions as to the process of his impeachment. Remember, this is indeed a historic case. It's one that has never been seen before in the country. Again, they're saying it still has to go through the court process, just as it did happen with Governor Kawira. I still don't know where it went with Governor Kawira. That now seemingly was swept under the rug of, all this was happening. But I'll look into it myself and then let you know. But if you know, let me know. Now, on the People Daily, we have on page 6, Gachagua clutches at straws. Now, son of Mau Mau faces date with fate today as judges hear case challenging Ruto's pick for second in command. So again, I mentioned the court case, and there it is. Now we'll get to hear his fate as the judges get to hear about his case today. In the second part of the People Daily, it reads One Nation, 2 DPs. There's a stalemate in a bizarre political development. Both impeached Rigathi Gachagua and Interior CS Kindiki lay claim to Harambee House Annex. That you can read on page 4, 5, and 6. Again, quite a confusing time because there's an incoming DP who people are already, claiming is a DP. I think even there was a Gazette notice to that effect last week. And of course now Gachagua is still saying, I am the DP until the courts say otherwise. Lastly, we had the Standard. Reads in black and bold, politics versus the law. Cases begin. An unprecedented battle will take place in the corridors of justice. Starting today, myriad issues are on the table in what is turning out to be an epic battle between the president, parliament, impeached deputy president, and judges. While pundits contend politics usually wins over law, Chief Justice Martha Koome and her officials have their work cut out. Indeed, they do. Indeed, they do. Because there have been claims that, behind the scenes, the president has been, kind of like, convincing people to sway in a certain way. This is all alleged that this is how it has been going down. So, of course, we'll wait to see how this now goes down with, of course, the highest court in the land. We have on page 3, doubts cast over body said to be of missing MCA. The body was discovered in Lake Yahud, Wajir County, on Saturday, but the burial has been halted until DNA tests are done. So we are yet to find out if this indeed was the MCA who was found dead after days of going missing. Now on page 10, which is a national news, we have Wairimu dumped salon to become human trafficker. There's the story of Eunice Wairimu, who has been jailed for 10 years after attempts to lure Kenyans into slavery abroad were halted. I find that to be good news this morning. Again, too many Kenyans are languishing abroad due to these rogue agents who promise milk and honey only to have our sisters and our brothers either languish or, unfortunately, unalived as they try to seek for better opportunities outside. That's how it's looking for the major dailies this morning. Again, you can weigh in. +254 788 380030 is my number. Let's go back into the music, and when we come back, we'll be looking at some of the things that are trending this morning, including DCI summoning Gachagua after his claims of lack of security and attempts on his life. We also hear what Ichungwa has to say about reports of Kindiki replacing Gachagua, or rather not Kindiki replacing Gachagua. It's rather Ichungwa replacing Kindiki as the CS. So we'll be looking into that and much more after this. Again, chunk it to the conversation. +254 788 380030. And our YouTube comment section is always blowing up. Love to hear from you. Keep it right here.
Uliniahidi maisha yaliyo na raha, na ukaniahidi maisha bila mashaka. Ni nini ilitendeka baada ya ndoa? Ni nini ilitendeka baada ya kupawewana? Kila siku mimi nilimuomba Mwenyezi anipe mume atakaye nienzi, ikawaje vigumu kunipa lako benzi. When you promised that I would be your one and only lady, aheri
sheri, na mimi nikakuahidi mapenzi wenye faraja na dhiki. Ni vipi sasa sikuelewi? Shida sio masikini dadi, mapenzi pili pili, tena kageuka shubiri, lakini bado nakupenda, sitawahi kuacha, tufurahie pamoja, hata kama kwa boda boda, bado nakupenda, sitawahi kuacha, tufurahie pamoja, hata kama kwa boda boda. Ninakuenzi mpenzi, ninakuenzi my baby, stay with me and our family. Oh, I love you, my baby, I love you, my love.
No, nene, yeah. Introducing
Bonnie and Prussia, Nagabu, Jesse on this. Si lazima, si lazima,
si lazima tutu, tunazenda home na tuchitu. Si lazima tutu, tunazenda home na tuchitu. Si lazima tutu, tunazenda home na tuchitu. Si lazima tutu, tunazenda home na tuchitu.
Si lazima tutu, tunaweza kwenda kwanza ketani, twende baby tupate matani, leo hakuna cha kukaga ndani, wacha nikuli kutoka kwenye neck, back, lips, mpaka kwa hips, si ati kila saa nikiku undress, si ati kila saa nitakukaress, si ati kila saa ni mambo ya sex, si lazima, si lazima, najua baby wewe unataka, pia mimi time huwaga nataka, lakini leo mazemi sijisikii, hata mimi maze kichwa kinauma, tumbo pia nasikia kisokota, na kuna venye nasikia kukaokota.
Si lazima tutu, tunazenda home na tuchitu. Si lazima tutu, tunazenda home na tuchitu. Si lazima tutu, tunazenda home na tuchitu. Si lazima tutu, tunazenda home na tuchitu.
ati nasikia kokota, ngoja kwanza mvue hii mbota. Si lazima tutu, tunaweza enda jake tukachill tu, na huku mina jitu kwa kona nikikucheki tu, kazi jisikijo tunaweza bonga, wanasema gama ndio afrodisi ya kutosha, nikiangalia trao tu hivi nimetokwa, tuko story yako wewe nishakuwa ngodha, itakuwaje jo story zikatika, hii move tunacheki jo manze ikiisha, kwanza umini umevaa manze inanimaliza, nataka kugusa lakini jo sitaki, nataka kulala jo kushangua shati, generation kibao jo sina bahati.
Tunazenda home na tuchitu. Si lazima tutu, tunazenda home na tuchitu. Si lazima tutu, tunazenda home na tuchitu. Si lazima tutu, tunazenda home na tuchitu.
Karibia ma, karibia, pata tot, home na tujitu. Si lazima tutu, tumesenda home na tujitu. Dem anachungulia kile mina do, anachanganikiwa ananiangalia kile mina want, anachanganikiwa anachungulia kile mina do, anachanganikiwa ananiangalia kile mina want, anachanganikiwa sipo baya sipo baya kile mina want, anachanganikiwa.
We are taking a look at some of the news this morning. But before we go into what's going down in the country, I have to give a big shout out to two content creators who have made my last couple of weeks. One is called Mugambi. He's a young guy. He is hella funny. Came out of nowhere, but you need to check him out on Instagram. He is one guy who knows how to put a self skit together. Like, he is hilarious, and I am so glad that brands are tapping into him now. So big kudos to him. Mike Mushiri also is another one who I am definitely crashing on in terms of how funny he is. Not crashing on like, his content, crashing on his content. Manze, he has done a 3-part series on just the amount of spelling mistakes we find outside there, okay? From the third floor to the 4th floor, like, it is hilarious. Like, I have never deserved to laugh that much, but he has given me reason to just roll on the floor laughing every single time, especially his first installment of those of that series, on the floor. So if you want to check out people who make you happy, definitely those guys. There's also another Chile called Ruth. I'll give a shout out to a Chile. I think she's called Ruth Wahome or what, on Facebook. Now, she's the one who depicts how girlfriends of nowadays act. We were talking about this last week with a few friends of ours. Actually, Wanjira to be exact. I was talking about it with Wanjira and how girlfriends nowadays are changing the game. They're now giving goat wives heart palpitations because they're out there or sharing their boyfriends, cooking for them, vanishing them like babies. Like, where? You're out there grinding and sweating, and Kuba, there's a girl over there waiting in an SQ and in a bedsitter waiting to usher your man. It is tough outside here. So yes, now apart from good wives, you have good girlfriends who are just doing the absolute most. So check out these content creators because they're just making our world better just a little bit, one content at a time. Another thing that I saw that was trending just the other day, before again we get into the news, is Somali bars. I was so shocked. I'm like, first of all, Somalis are very strict in their ways of life, which is admirable because they are not ashamed and they're not determined by pressures of society like the rest of us are. 1 minute we're saved, 1 minute we're backsliding. Them, like, they're hukus. When it comes to prayers, they're strict about their prayers. When it comes to their fasting, they're strict about their fasting. When it comes to their food, it must be halal. Like, I really respect their way of handling things and they're not ashamed of it. But then, just to find out, courtesy of our friend at the Nairobi City Council, that they are now having bars and they are causing disturbances for the rest of the neighborhood. Never in my life would I have ever said that I would see a day when we see them having bars and restaurants. I guess times have changed. I mean, a halal group, because it's for kids and kids activities. Me, I have with my kids activities, and they were talking about it and they were like, what is going on? Because they were trying to explain it in their best Sharia terms, but I understood how disappointed they were in finding out that these establishments actually exist. I was hoping for them to check into the establishment just to show if there was alcohol on the shelves, or it's just a number of guys chilling on shisha and veve and enjoying music. Either way, it is new to me. If you have one in your hood, again, let me know. +254 788 or hit me up on the YouTube comment section. I'd love to hear your thoughts on these. Now, we do have, the curious case of Gachagua and what is going to happen, especially with what is going to go down at the courts today. Seemingly, yesterday, he penned a letter to the judiciary over his impeachment. There are quarters that are saying he has said sorry to Ruto, please. Okay, jokes, sorry, please, sorry, boss. And then now here he is, penning letters to the judiciary over his hearing. Now, outside the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has written to the judiciary questioning how cases challenging his impeachment were placed before a 3-judge bench without concrete direction from Chief Justice Martha Koome. Through his lawyer, John Njomo, the embattled Gachagua demanded to know whether Chief Justice Martha Koome was involved in the selection of an even number of judges to determine all petitions challenging the impeachment process in a letter dated 20th October 2024. Of course, in his letter, he addressed to the Deputy Registry High Court through his legal team. I question why the 3-judge bench that tossed out his application seeking conservatory orders also hastily declined to lift an order blocking Deputy President nominee Kithure Kindiki from assuming the position. Again, this happened quite quickly. It was announced literally hours after the story, or rather the news of his impeachment. So Gachagua is posing a lot of questions to the 3-judge bench. We'll see that will also hold weight as they determine and make the decision after the hearings today. Speaking still on Gachagua, it seems his party have no feels whatsoever for the man, as they vowed to kick him out and have made plans on the ousting. Now, DP Rigathi Gachagua has hit a new low after Monday 21st October, where members of the UDA openly denounced him as the party's deputy. Now, UDA Secretary General Hassan Omar spoke during the UDA Comrades event in Eldoret, where he revealed there were plans to expel Gachagua from the party within 1 week. Now, UDA Treasurer Japhet Nyakundi further reiterated that Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki was on the verge of becoming Kenya's next deputy president. According to Nyakundi, Gachagua was no longer suited to act as a party deputy, as he had gone against everything UDA stands for. Man, kick man while he's down. He is not catching a break. This is one man, let me tell you. If there's one man who has been made to understand that he is not liked nor wanted, it would have to be Gachagua. Can you imagine where he is right now and how he's feeling? I would not want to find out publicly like that how much I am not liked nor wanted. Still on Gachagua, he has been summoned by the DCI to record a statement over his claims of assassination attempts. Now, the DCI on Monday summoned ousted Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua to shed more light on the allegations of an attempted assassination by President William Ruto's administration. In a statement obtained by Kenyans.co.ke, termed Gachagua's sentiments as serious, and that remarks could not be taken lightly, especially when emanating from a person of his stature. Now, in the summon letter, the former deputy president was directed to present himself at the DCI headquarters located along Kiambu Road on Nairobi on October 22nd. The detectives noted that due to the sensitivity of the case, the matter would be handled with the seriousness it deserved. So the DCI are basically saying you can't just go out making claims like these and then expect it not to be followed up with. We have to find out when the assassination attempts happened, who might have been behind it, why you suspect. Because, he mentioned that at some point he went through food poisoning and that was an attempt on his life. And yes, they are quite big claims. and they're trying to determine whether they hold any water, and if indeed there is some truth to that, and then handle it with the seriousness it deserves. So everything Gachagua is seemingly saying right now is being put under a huge microscope, and Kenyans are asking from the highest point down to the common wananchi a lot of questions. Remember, leading up to his impeachment, he held lots of talks with lots of different personalities giving his story. I didn't get the time to watch because I was going through what I was going through, but right now I want to go back with my popcorn this weekend. After I'm done with work, I am watching all the proceedings. I'm watching all the conversations. I think next week I'm going to have a few political pundits coming into the studio, and we can chambua this vizuri, so that, you know, I can be letting into the gossip, and then I come and tell you now vizuri how we chambua it, okay? Because I really need some help sometimes with these conversations. But yes, I will try and comb through it with a fine tooth comb and come back, and we can talk about it nicely and analytically, because again, like I said, it is a historic time in the nation. Lastly, we finish with Kimani Ichung'wah's purported, rise to the position of CS, which would be him kind of like replacing who has already been promoted, and that would be Kindiki. The majority leader in the National Assembly, Kimani Ichung'wah, has dismissed allegations of replacing Kithure Kindiki as the Interior and Coordination Cabinet Secretary. Now, speaking in Rabai, Kilifi County on Monday, October 21st, the Kikuyu MP emphasized that he was content with his current position and was not eyeing any position within President William Ruto's cabinet. Ichung'wah maintained his stand, stating that he had yet to accomplish the purpose from which he was elected. Such claims of eyeing the prestigious cabinet position were only meant to create confusion among Kenyans. So he's raised his hand and said, "Apana, see me," and I can understand why. Remember a whole street, was it 12 or 21 people were removed from their jobs just earlier this year, and they were in that same CS position, meaning that, these jobs are not exactly stable. And then, of course, holding that position of security is not the easiest, especially because for when Kindiki was, taking up that position, he was blamed heavily for what happened during the Gen Z protests. Guys are saying there's a lot of blood on his hands. Would Ichung'wah want the same? Clearly, he's saying, nah, I already got too much on my plate. Let me deal with what I have right now. The rest will come later if need be. That has been a roundup of the news this morning. Again, you can check it to the conversation +254 788 380030. Keep it right here as we usher in our guests on the Breakfast Jam. We've got an amazing show still right here at Icon Radio. Remember, 9 a.m. is all about your requests. Let us know exactly what you'd like to listen to. +254 788 380030.
Tena, na kuongea uzushi bwana, kwa kuwa na mambo yetu
Chinyakadochi gigabana. Yemele kodanya dundo. Obera mama tibeli mora pile pile. Enya jodonga yemele kodanya dundo. Obera mama tibeli mora pile pile.
Dance with me, sing with me when I wear it. Oh, Melkoda, Werkoda, when I wear it. Dance with me, sing with me when I wear it. Oh, Melkoda, Werkoda, when I wear it. I see you in my dreams every night. We dancing salsa na bendi na cheza saxophone na hisi desperado na gita yangu ndogo nataka tension yako. Woo, 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 woo. Girl, you're my remedy. I got you some melodies, and this is some divine. Now you sick and divine. Girl, you're my remedy. I got you some melodies, and this is some divine. Now you sick and divine. Opera mama timbeni mora pile pile. Dance with me, sing with me when I wear it. Oh, Melkoda, Werkoda, when I wear it. Dance with me, let us dance together, sing together when I wear it. Oh, Melkoda, Werkoda, when I wear it. When my melody wear it.
This proves to be such a beautiful night, so I wanna stay out with you till the morning comes along now. Sulori and Ginyadi, your polo and oh hallelujah. Give me the word and a bit of me with the money when you yoro. And now we made it to the mountain tops. Let me take your hands, baby, lead your way. And now we cruising to the promised land. Mind alone, better not mind alone. And now we made it to the mountain tops. Let me take your hands, baby, lead your way. And now we cruising to the promised land. Mind alone, better not mind alone. I go dire atia. I go dire. Ya kumenya de daga ka oda siri. I go dire atia. I go dire. Ya kumenya de daga ke modo siria. Milima na mabonde, ahore wa yora yora. 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 Nama chukagera rosine ke besilia, my dear. Nama chukagera rosine ke besilia, my dear. Ooh, nah, dear busy. On a me hang on the no digger. We had I and near no chuka. Ogorama one ye go ahead. On a dear way, can I wait? Doge sama. Ta hotel tane wakinya chuka go ahead. How get in it? Don't get ni wacho. You come when you daga ka oda siri. Don't get kato wakwa ini mondi menwa yo. Rienye nwa sana wakwa imoda irienwa yo. Pinyoti mamudo kapodo dake pinyi kababa wakwa ini mondi irienwa yo.
This is the Breakfast Jam with your girl Myra Maloba on Icon Radio #1 Entertainment Plug. We are plugging onto our icons of the day, and today we have Costa Ojang with us. Yay! Karibu sana.
Asante.
You are listening to us live on www.iconradio.co.ke and on YouTube live at Icon Radio KE. Man, let me tell you, when I told people you're coming to the studio, everybody was just like, what? They were so excited. You have so many fans. I being one of them. Love your music. It's an honor to have you here in studio.
My M-Pesa is open.
Yeah, M-Pesa is open. Yes. To my number. That's a good one.
www.iconradio.ke.
First of all, I saw somebody the other day at an event. He was talking about the impacts of Safaricom.
Yeah.
And he put out his number, and guys sent money, a lot of money. So it actually works. So maybe after the show, I'll do the same. So let's see who will get more money than the other.
That's right.
But Costa, you have had a remarkable journey. Just reading about it is so amazing, from how far you've come and people you've managed to collaborate with. Just to take it back a little bit, what was the genesis of you getting into music?
I love life, so the bigger part of it was just me having fun, and then proximity to a studio. My friend had a studio, so I had access to that space. So we would record just playful stuff, and then we entered some songs in competitions, then we won. So I think also most of it was me loving making music, but then people also resonating with the songs that we were doing at that particular time.
Right.
And then just through COVID, so I also had time.
Ah.
I had time, and YouTube is free.
That is true.
Yes. Yeah. So we were like, there's no harm in releasing the songs on YouTube. So
yeah.
Initially, the whole business side of it was not a thought out plan.
Right.
So we're just making songs and putting them on YouTube and seeing what people are saying about them.
Right.
And they liked them. So we made an album.
So when you say we,
or me and my producer, the guy who had the studio.
Okay.
Yes. So we made an album.
Uh-huh.
And then I started getting booked. And I was like, oh, shit.
It actually works.
Yes.
Right.
Let's play the gigs.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was the beginning of it, and then it led to other albums.
So were you getting bookings through your producer, or people hollering at you directly?
No, just people directly.
Oh, wow.
I've been painting, so I knew people. I knew a certain group of people.
Yes.
And then now it was easy to find me because I was also inside the creative space.
Right.
Yeah. So it was like a surprise. Oh, Costa also sings.
Mm-hmm.
And when you hear the album, it's professional.
Actually, one of the artists you've worked with before, she knows you. She came in last year, and she's like, "You need to get Costa onto your show." I can't remember. She had at least shaven hair. I can't remember her name. She was an artist who was being featured at a gallery that was being held at the mall.
Painter.
I think she was a painter. No, impressionist. I can't remember, but she did art. I'll look for during the break. I'll tell you. Okay. But she came in and she was like, "You have to have Costa Ojwang on." He's new. I think by that time you were new. You're coming into the scene. It's like his music is phenomenal. You have to have him on. So yes, the word of your music did spread. Full circle. Even before you came here, so it's even great that now you managed to find yourself here because your praises are already being sung. Your art, I love the fact that you do music and art. Which inspires the other?
Initially, my visual art was, filling the whole space of telling my stories.
Right.
But then the things I couldn't paint about, I didn't find a soft way of painting about them.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the things I would sing about.
Ah.
So stories that I can't tell in color and in sketches and stuff.
Right.
I would write songs about them.
Oh, that's amazing.
And then now I think music has taken this direction, and art is also going a certain way. Some songs meet with some pieces at some point.
Right.
Like social songs like 60 Years, which is just about Kenya anyway.
Right.
They find themselves somewhere. Then other songs that are spiritually inclined also find like a converging point with some of my paintings.
Right. Yeah. I love it. It's not easy to find artists like you who are, expressive. Because now it's an amazing thing to think that you have all these amazing outlets for yourself, which a lot of people are looking for, but a lot of times don't find the right way. Now, coming from releasing your album with your producer, how did things progress for you? Because now you're getting your name out there, and now you did stuff with Maovete, Kitusua.
So Maovete, my producer is part of Maovete.
Oh, now I get the connection.
I was actually part of the initial plan was we are Maovete, and then I sort of moved towards other things.
Right.
Then now Costa Joang happened.
Maovete is a good friend of the show.
Right.
I am surprised you got Kitusua because nailing him down is not easy. Yes. I think everybody knows that. You also did stuff with Octopizzo as well. Is this now part of the stable you are in that enabled you to be able to now come together with these amazing hip hop artists?
I came around at a good time when I think globally people are just looking at Africa a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
During COVID, a lot of Nigerian musicians popped out.
Right.
So that drive towards Afrobeat and Afrocentric sounds, personally, I believe helped what I was doing. It was a bit heavily Afrocentric as compared to anything else. as compared to most of the things that Kenyan market was offering.
Which was more Afro, less urban.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, you actually marry the two very well.
Yeah.
I would
So,
say.
so when you looked at my sound, I think when you looked and listened to it, I wasn't very intentional about getting a niche. I was just like, this is what I want to sing, and I want to sing it like this.
Right.
So it happened to be one of those things that were filling a space which people had a longing for.
Yeah.
So if you can consume Burna Boy, I think it's easy for you to consume my music.
Right.
Because it's from here.
Yeah. And you embody also in the look as well.
Thank you.
You know, it's easy to export an artist like you if we were to look at promoters and what they would be looking for. Is that what now eventually happened? Were you getting promoters from across different spaces coming to you?
Yeah. I had Kike. Kike was I don't know if they still do gigs. So it was a group of people who are doing music that don't normally get to big stages. So they organize gigs for up and coming musicians. And then you do ticket sales, which doesn't make sense. However, there's a huge element of luck and timing and just the randomness of things that happened to me.
Yeah.
In the sense that I was already a painter.
Yeah.
I was already making some money. Kidogo from art. That I could put aside and set up my own gigs. And pay the band without having to sell tickets.
Oh wow.
So what I was doing is, I think I also had the guts to do it that way. So I would put aside like 30k, 25k to pay the band and just do gigs because I liked the idea of performing live. Perform with a full band. It was also fascinating because I was new to it.
Right.
It was an adrenaline, like excitement.
Yeah.
So just being there and having all these people building up this amazing sound.
Right.
You're the steering wheel of the sound. I was enjoying that part.
Yeah.
So I'd put up gigs in small spaces. There's gigs I had 10 people. And it's not long ago, it's like 2022.
Yeah.
So we do those gigs, then I pay the band, and then the first time I got paid from Kike, I think they paid me 5k. So if you do the math, after all the rehearsals and the traveling around,
it was a big investment at the end of the day.
Yeah. So I did like 8 of those gigs.
Wow.
And then, so what I was saying like is that not many people have access to that kind of money. And then sing the way I sing, and then look the way I look, and then come at that time when people are looking at, Afro, whatever.
Right.
Yes. So it's the timing, positioning, luck. God played a huge part of it. So people would book me, and then most people who came to our gigs left with a word to say.
Yeah.
And I said, went to this guy's gig, yay! And then, because also I like, for the Luos, I like a lot of Musa Juma's music, Chinka Baselas and those old people, including Yadundo. So we would infuse some of those songs in our sets.
Nice.
And my band is so good.
Yeah.
So they lifted those sounds. So anybody who came, you get the nostalgia, but then it's also modern, and it's done by people, your peers.
Yeah.
So I think that helped. And then I had access to other musicians, like people like Max. I've known Max for a long time. I think it's now 10 years.
Oh, wow.
So he acted as my access to other people I didn't know.
Right.
Because I'd already done that song with, it's out his own. I don't remember Japanese song.
Yeah. Oh, yes, you were in it.
No, Max was in it.
Oh, Max was in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Max being in it gave him access to other amazing musicians.
Right.
So I leveraged on that. It's just like, I'm looking for someone, so can you help?
Yeah.
So it called them for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love that. And you clearly immerse yourself, even though music wasn't your first option. But it's clear that you immerse yourself fully, like when you're on that path, like even investment wise. And it's amazing to hear because it's rare for a lot of artists. There is always that, that handout aspect, especially to our scene. What would you say drives you?
I've lived alone for a long time. I've lived alone even around family members. And it happens when you're the weird one.
The weird one.
Yeah. When you can just move around, people don't notice you're around.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was that one sibling.
Yeah.
So most of the things I've done, my folks died a long time ago. I was young.
Oh, sorry.
So I was raised by my brothers. If you're raised by your brothers, and then when they're raising you, they also have a young family, so they don't focus on you like that.
Right.
Yes, they feed you. You're healthy.
Yeah.
Your kids in the village grow. by grace.
Right.
So I learned to survive. So I think when you don't have anything else to lose, your willpower gets a bit stronger
More to
when you
that.
decide to do other things.
Mm.
So most of the things I've done with, I think, 120%
Right.
intentionality. Sorry. So when I was playing football, I wanted to be a professional footballer. I went for it until it stopped making sense.
Right.
I stopped it.
Stopped making sense.
It looked like certificate to poverty.
Oh, way.
It's like, I've seen this thing. It's familiar.
It's familiar.
Yeah.
It looks way too familiar.
No, for real. I'm being very honest. And I'm
Yes.
laughing around it.
Yeah.
It looked way too familiar.
I understand what you're saying.
This is not for me.
I get you.
So I took another turn.
Right.
Then I went to an art school. So I could draw and paint. I applied for a medical course at a university in Kisumu, but then I went to an art school.
Okay.
So when I went to the art school, I fully immersed myself there.
Right.
I was supposed to take 3 years. By the time I was hitting 2 years and a half, they told me I was already good enough. So they told me to finish the school. So I left and I came to Nairobi. I lied, I was from here. I came to Nairobi. And then I applied for a competition here, which was Nairobians competition. And then I was number 2.
Yeah.
They had papers and stuff. So as much as yes, I've been fully immersed, there are things that validate that effort and drive.
Yeah.
Those small winnings.
Right.
So what if I put in more effort?
Right.
Because everyone knows when it's probably 3 people you can't lie to: yourself, God, and the devil. When you're not working hard, even if you look busy,
right,
deep down,
you know.
Yes. So we might say, oh, it's really working hard, but no, I'm just roaming around. I'm not doing shit. So I could tell when I wasn't putting enough effort and where I needed to add efforts to. So those small winnings validated the effort, and then I knew what was missing. Then I would add. It's not easy though. But then if you've learned to be alone, I'd urge people to appreciate alone time. If you can't stay alone, you can't plan things. You can't vision. You can't have visions. You can't have like bigger aspirations. If you enjoy company, I don't think you're going anywhere.
That is, I am with you 100%. So you're somewhat of an introvert.
Yeah, I like being alone.
Got you.
I work well with crowds, but I like being alone.
We relate in so many ways. I understand you. That's sometimes that alone time it gets your thoughts together.
It exposes you as well. You see how terrible you are. So you know what to add more effort on.
Yes.
So I did that. The time I was drawing, in like a year I filled 4 sketchbooks, which is not easy. But then those things make sense. After like 3 years, you're like, oh, so that period is what I've been surviving on this whole year.
Right.
Because art is like a language. You learn it, you harness that, and that energy becomes part of you, and you use that to be able to communicate.
Right.
If you haven't learned it, you can't communicate.
Right.
Most people just jump onto it.
Right.
And then, because art these days is whatever you can get away with.
Yeah.
So people jump onto it, and then they're not open to critics. And it's fine. There's no right way. All life is life. Someone taught me that.
That's true.
Yeah. So I learned what I learned. I'm still learning. There's a lot of things I don't know how to do. But then another helping angle is that the way I sing is not a thing you learn in school.
Right.
I also don't understand it. So I can't. People ask me, so how can I sing this thing like you? And I also don't know. Just sing.
We're all learning.
So art gave me guts to do things that I wouldn't have done if I was just doing music alone. Yeah, the pressure of trying to conform was not there for me.
Right.
Yeah, I had freedom to just record whatever I wanted to record.
So you're basically moving to the beat of your own drum, and it's working
entirely.
Completely working.
Entirely.
Because now everybody's flocking towards you without you having to beg and knock down people's doors. Then how do you, for somebody who's so self-driven and has achieved a lot by just applying themselves and being intentional, as you have said, how do you find it being in this scene? When you look at this scene, to take a step back, how do you see it in your view, especially artists, how they handle their artistry, handle the investments, handle their work? How do you see? What's your view
for music or just
for music, even art, both?
So for music is the music scene that I am in is very young. I think you can backdate it to the likes of Eric Wainaina,
Right.
Nairobi, and
It is quite wrong, yeah.
It's like 20 years old. So I think being able to sit down and talk to your legends is a huge gift that sometimes you don't look at
Right.
like that.
Right.
So it's still at beginner stages. So people can consume anything. And then the way Kenya is positioned, for me, I think these are just my observations.
Right.
I'm not quoting anyone, so don't
No,
quote
no,
me
no.
like, oh,
It's okay.
these are the findings.
Opinions are like armpits. Everybody
Yeah,
has
so-
one.
Yeah, I think the
Yeah.
way Kenya is positioned, we have tribal superstars. So we have
Right.
the Maimas and the Indas. We have
Right.
that helps because then now anyone who dares to dream can find a space. It might not be very big, but it's a space.
Words
And
about
then-
yeah.
and then now also millennials and the younger people are more open to sounds that reminds them of a place. Songs that reminds them of their uncle or reminds them of their high school days, and then with a fusion of other things that they also enjoy, like
Right.
having gone to a good school,
Right.
high school.
Yeah.
I got exposed to other things like R&B, hip hop, jazz, a little bit, blues. So I'd want to also listen to that because sometimes I don't just listen to my music. Most of the times I play Kenyan music, yes, but there's times I also play 90s R&B, early 2000s.
Right.
And I want my music to also embody that a little bit because it's part of my experience. You can't carve out that space of my life and I was listening to that.
Right.
So infusing those things in my songs, I think resonates with a lot of people because I think you can't be the only one feeling a certain feeling in the world.
Yeah.
So people will resonate with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll take a small break and we'll be coming back to look now at your album ISNM. Imposter Syndrome. No, I like that title. We've been listening to music from Kosa Ojwang, of course. Also, just looking back at his journey. If you do have any questions or comments, hit us up on +254 788 380030. Back into the music, and we'll be back with more from Kosa Ojwang.
mieroni. Vudu mulo. Jatum jakindandi, jumu winjoni. Oh yo, jumu eroni. Jatum jakindandi, jumu mieroni. Oh yo, jumu eroni. True. Ngama winja kichunge lokacha walosie. Kinena kichunge lokacha wakuothie. Biwalosi asekelo sekena tulewe. Mazungumuzo, majadiliano, maongezi, wasiliano, utatuzi wa mizozo. Nishikilie nikikosa usinifinyilie. Nihudumie mwenzangu nitakuhudumia. Unilishe nikipata mimi nitakulisha. Kimar peleki yenge batata benda winjo maber. Kiri wagore wagere mana kue wa medire. Oponya oro koyo nai. Orio jathum jakindani. Jumu winjoni. Orio jumu eroni. Jathum jakindani. Jumu mieroni. Orio jumu eroni.
I've been around the world na pigamboka na saka kitu yeye. I've been to Rotterdam, Sainico, Manchester, yeah. I'm in and out of town to the lakey side, met the fisherman, yeah. Costa water window, me a pesa milioni nane. Ooh, I've been catching flies and I'm running back to you. I've been longing for the days I'll spend with you. Let the music take away. All I'm holding is your waist. Let me love you right away. It's your day, it's your game. Baby, let me drive in your lane. When the drum plays at the home stage. Miela miela wasemoke. When the crowd is charging on. And the people sing along. Everybody dancing on. And the people sing along. Ooh.
Jathum jakindani. Jumu winjoni. Orio jumu eroni. Jathum jakindani. Jumu mieroni. Orio jumu eroni. Jathum jakindani. Jumu winjoni. Orio jumu eroni. Jathum jakindani. Jumu mieroni. Orio jumu eroni. Jathum jakindani. Jumu winjoni. Orio jumu eroni. Jathum jakindani. Jumu mieroni. Orio jumu eroni.
Amazing sounds of Kosa drawing right here and exclusively on the Breakfast Jam. Okay, I have to be expressive though you said Jathum. It's exclusively here. I am so excited to have you in studio. It's just been amazing just hearing your journey thus far. And it's self-driven. Let me tell you, like I was telling you during the break, people who drive themselves, let me tell you, I soak up your energy. Because I'm like, this is how it's supposed to be, you know.
See you like Jama like that.
But definitely you are a blueprint of how people are supposed to work. As in, I find it inspirational that you're intentional about what you do and where you're going. We have Angel Okungu saying amazing music. Wow.
Asante Kuma.
There we go. Thank you so much for tuning in, Angel. Yes, indeed, it is amazing music. You went the Benga route. Was it again unintentional, or when you started, you were like, okay, this is where I want to be?
Meaning, I'm just a villager, man. So it would be itakuwa uongo. Naweza kuongea Kiswahili hapa?
Of course.
Sijui Kiswahili.
Me.
Wajaluo tu wako wapi kiburi ya kuongea Kiswahili lakini.
Ni Oswayo.
Hiyo. And they speak their own language.
It's alright.
They're convinced to Swahili. Mimi kusasema. So I'm just a villager and I like songs that I don't struggle to sing. Because those are the songs I used to listen to. I still listen to them.
Yeah.
And then the more I've been doing it, the more the need for them grew. So now it's home.
Right.
Right now it's home.
Yeah.
And then also I've seen how people consume my music. It fills a void, and it's just beautiful to see people being put in that space. Like the songs I've written, and I'd never hoped that people would listen to them. With that much passion.
Right.
So when you get that same energy from people,
right,
it shows you're doing something right.
I love it because, like, every time I tell my producer Sylvy, first of all, our music is so beautiful. But at the same time, Benga, sometimes you just listen to it, you just know premium tiers are following you. What? I am speaking from experience. Premium tiers will follow you. Just be careful.
See, the good thing is when you leave the session, you have a stronger character.
You toughen us.
You're ready for the world.
Can't. Maybe siwezi rudi.
Leave low men to low women.
By the way, low women are the ones who are able to hack. Like it's sasa, like just like my dad, mnaenda sasa kwa kamba ni nini. There's a lot of talk online, but the music is beautiful, and I love the rise of it. You know, Ben Soul, Okello Max, Prince Inda. It's a resurgence of the Benga sound. I feel like we lost it when, you know, like you mentioned, the Tony Nyadundos, Musa Jumas, Emmanuel, all of them, they were just, it kind of like it was almost fading, or it was remaining within a niche space. What is your hope for the Benga space?
First of all, good question. First of all, I think music is supposed to represent a people, a place, and a time. I don't think Benga will ever come back.
Why so?
Because so for you to play Benga music, first of all, most of the people who are singing Benga were guitarists.
Right.
So the lead guitarists playing the rhythm section, and they're also singing and writing. Most of the people they were playing with were incredible guitarists. We don't have very many of those these days.
Right.
The few we have, there's a lot of Benga thrives in an environment where there's food, where people are not concerned about what you're gonna eat when the day ends. Right now, everyone is concerned about that. Every creative wants to know what they're gonna eat when the day ends. So you end up playing with a lot of bands. So you have a guitarist. When you have a gig, he plays with you. Following weekend, plays with another person. That was not the Benga culture. Benga culture was one band that is known for orchestra, super haki haki. That's a band. Victoria Kings, something, that's a band. Limpopo International, that's a band. So, but this is a band of incredible guitarists and instrumentalists and songwriters. So, the country now, just the world, doesn't allow for that to be the case. However, we can have Benga coming back in a different phase. Because now there's been a lot of influence, and music represents a time. So the time now that we are in, we're consuming so much. But when Benga was the thing, there was no R&Bs in Kenya. There was no radio stations playing hip hop. There was no radio station playing rock music. It was just the only thing. The only radio station we had was KBC. Ramogi came here when Musa Juma was, I think. Maybe after 5 years since he died. So all these radio stations now, I don't think your radio is 20 years old.
2 minus.
So that's the point. So there's a lot of influences, and people want all these things in one palette.
Right.
That's just naturally how human beings consume. You don't consume one particular thing. Even if it's fish, you have tomatoes, onions, whatever, to make that fish soup. So Benga will come back, but in a different phase.
Right.
Those are the things that we are also struggling with. So you want to do songs that remind you of this time, holding on to the Benga root.
Right.
So when this one, I'm imploring Kenya, Nani Luos, who are saying, "Oh, you know me, I like Musa Juma. Musa is dead."
Yeah.
They go, "Oh, me, I like Uchinka Basele." We also love him. That's why we're singing songs inspired by him.
Right.
But we have to be open-minded and understand that the times have changed. Those people are not here.
Yeah.
And in the next 15 years, anybody who is 30 now will be 45. Anyone who is 15 now will be 30. They will consume our music. We will be the Musa Jumas and the Chinka Baselas. Even if I don't make it to be one of those people, there's a lot of people who are equally as gifted, or even more, who will be one of those people for them.
Right.
So it's okay for growth and metamorphosis.
In other words, don't be stuck.
Yeah, don't be stuck to one thing.
Open your mind up a little bit.
Benga is coming back, but differently.
In a different way. In fact, I like the new way. It's very relatable for those of us who are not able to take it in its entirety, and it's palatable as well. And it just speaks to the time of now. And then the thing that I absolutely love is the collaborations. The collaboration is making it that much stronger and giving that much of a bigger voice, a bigger audience. And I think that's something you guys have managed to do really, really well. But you're not only doing it within the people within the Luo space. I've seen you've done it with Erosh as well. And Erosh and the legs have actually really integrated well with the Benga sound so well, because they've also done it with Prince Inda and the likes. And you've managed to at least diversify how you do the music. Is there usually a direction in mind when you're coming up with these collaborations, like in the your new album ISNM?
Yes, one is I don't charge for collaborations.
Oh, good. Hey, like Major, don't charge. I like that.
The space we are in, people don't charge for collaborations like that. Because pretty much everyone is equally as good.
That's true.
So even if you charge, you're gonna get your money back somehow. But you'll charge them.
Right.
So it's more of let's come together and make sounds that we like, that we enjoy. Because no one is here pulling anyone's weight. So for me personally, I like the guys I've worked with because they represent a thing for me.
Yeah.
I like how Erosh is not making Kikuyu music soft on the melodies.
Right.
Kikuyu language, sorry.
Right.
Because Kikuyu language is not soft on melodies. Like
it comes as it comes.
Yes.
You take it as it is.
Yes.
Believe me, I know.
So I feel like Erosh knows that, and he's found a sound that is more dancehall, and bouncy and rhythm based. That works perfectly well for his voice texture, and for the language.
Right.
So I just work with people who amaze me, people whose stuff I like.
I like that.
So if I like your stuff enough, I'll approach you for a collaboration.
Okay. You have this new project out. Love the name, Imposter Syndrome No More. First of all, tell me how you find that, because it's always a thing that is just hovering over our heads. And what was your thought process behind now coming up with this?
I like creating songs. So when we dropped Foen, the second album, I headed back to the studio immediately because my bass guitar player in the band is my producer. So proximity still.
Okay.
So I wanted to do. People loved that album, but for it opened a lot of doors, which I never thought were possible. We played all the shows in this country after 5 months of the album dropping.
Oh wow!
And that's a huge feat.
It is.
Yes.
No small thing.
If you don't know industry players like that, if you're just new to the space, it's massive.
Right.
So after that, I felt the need to cement a spot, like my feet somewhere solidly. And people, they would tell me, "Oh, I love your music," but deep down you're like, "Are you sure it's the music? We take a certain box, we look a certain way, or we sound a certain way that no one else does?" and it plays with your mind when you play these big shows and when people call you.
Right.
So I worked with Octo, I've worked with Blinky Bill, I've worked with Max, Motoria,
Nice.
I've worked with Charisma. We have a group now with Benzol, Max, Watendawili, Charisma, the Kodong
Nice.
Clan. So being able to access these spaces, now I've worked with Savara.
Yeah.
I don't think there's many people higher than that in the Kenyan scene
True.
now. So when you get praises from these people, it plays with your head, of course. Especially if your beginning was an actual beginning.
Right.
So it just showed up.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if I'm getting these praises from these people because the music is that good, because it's a good marketing angle for what they're doing. Because we look a certain way and then we tick a box. Is it an inclusion thing? So this project was just me now saying, whatever it is, this is what I have. And I've given all of it here.
Right.
So this is what you get. Don't complain.
Right.
So I've done songs that I've written against alcohol, I've written against the economy, I've written songs I'm questioning love. People write songs about I love you,
Right.
so beautiful, I want to spend my whole entire life with you.
Premium tears.
I want to breathe next to you. Premium
tears.
But then, so I've written songs from the angle of why do we start loving each other,
Right.
and why is love necessary?
That's nice. That's really nice.
So when you're writing those things, and most people don't write them, you question whether people are gonna like them. Like, is it what the market wants? Sometimes. So now here, I was just like, whatever the market wants, I don't know what it is, because the songs we did in French gave us all these platforms.
Right.
So probably it's my formula and it works for me. So that's what I will do.
I love your thought process into what you're doing. Like album names used to take on different forms, Kitambo, and they were very conventional. But ISN, Imposter Syndrome No More, that's a winner. Absolutely love it. You have worked with Ambassa Mandela.
I love Mandela.
Sorry?
Mandela is good. Really
Mandela, yes. And Arosh. One I haven't heard of is Uaya Tajiri. That's the one I haven't, and I'm looking forward to hearing the music.
Wait, you don't know UI?
I wouldn't even lie.
Oh.
But today, I'll be 2 years old.
Lord.
You've come to
Have
teach
you heard
me.
the song of Atoti Chamtu?
Yes.
And it says UI.
I didn't know.
UI, so Watendawili, have you heard of Watendawili?
Of course.
Watendawili is UI and the Nyach.
Oh, that's why. You see, I didn't know. I just knew what Ndawili. I knew the package. I didn't know the individuals, but at least now I know. Amazing voices. Of course, Savara is not only a musical genius, but also a genius at producing as well. Yeah. Did he produce Jathum?
No, he didn't.
Okay, he just came in as a guest.
We did the first verse and the hook, and then I was trying to see who fits that song.
Aha.
So I sent it to him.
Okay.
And then he came fast.
Hey, then he must have loved everything about it, including the production aspect. Yeah. That is great. Of course, Mordecai, love that. The one I haven't heard of again now is Quiz.
Yeah. So Quiz is Luo Kenyan. But he lives in Canada.
Like they say, he's Luo Kenyan.
Yes, there's no Ugandans in so he lives in Canada.
Right, yes.
And he's a villager. When you talk to him, he's from somewhere in Uganda. Ended up in Canada.
Oh, nice.
So he does trap-ish stuff, hip-hop.
Okay.
But I like how he does it. He's got a very melodic approach to those songs. It's not the hardcore American trap and drill.
Right.
Yeah, so that's why I worked with him. Because this stuff I always want to explore.
Right.
They sometimes just don't want to sing about game up in. So I want to also explore other things. Because, like I said, I don't consume my own music like that. Like I play other people, the Jacob Banks, the Kiwanukas,
which was your what would you say was your favorite project out of the entire album?
Out of Imposter Syndrome?
Yes.
Favorite projects. Okong.
Okongo.
Yeah.
And out of now your entire body of work so far,
The whole
all your
catalog.
albums.
Hey, wanapea kazi.
Sasa kwa hizi now.
Eh.
You know you best.
Hono.
Huh?
Hono.
Kono.
Hono. Hono.
Hono.
Yeah.
Okay. And why those?
So mostly it's for what they represent.
Mm-hmm.
Alcohol messed up our family, so that's why I pick Okongo for this project. And then Hono because the bigger part of my being and existence here, I think, is a miracle.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of other aspects of it I don't understand.
Right.
I try looking for meaning. Sometimes I don't get. So I'm just like, whatever it is. So.
You've literally worked with the cream of the crop. Every one of them that you've mentioned is artistic genius. But who in your future would you have on your vision board that I'd like to work with this person? Kenya, abroad. Sorry, Kenya.
Kenya.
Yeah, it's hard. You worked with everyone. I think.
Like I've not worked with everyone, but I've worked with a lot of people ticking boxes. So now you find everyone in those boxes.
Yeah, as in, yeah.
So like if you've worked with Savara,
exactly.
You've worked with Bien-ish.
If you worked with Erosh.
Yes.
You worked with Kwamerigi.
And I'm not saying that these people are not good, the ones who have not worked with.
Yes.
They are immensely talented.
But they fit within a certain box.
They're still within that space.
Yeah.
So Kenya, maybe Susanna Weir.
All right. That would be amazing. I see that happening.
Yeah.
I see that happening.
We've written together.
Nice.
I've written stuff on some.
Awesome.
Song. So maybe Susanna. Inje though. I want to dream big and say Lauren Hill.
Ooh. Please, when you call when you do that project, please call us in to document. We do it for free. We as Icon Radio do it for free.
I'm a dreamer. I want to say Lauren Hill.
Let me tell you, when you speak something into existence.
For her.
Right. But we're a global village. You'll never know. Yes. You will never know. You speak something into existence, it just might happen. And we'll say it was said here first.
If not Lauren, Chronics.
Nice. Yeah. That's a good one. And everybody's begging for a new album from him. So hopefully they can.
Hallelujah.
We're speaking it into existence.
From your mouth to his bosom.
Bas. To his bosom. Imposter syndrome no more. So, what's next for Costa Ojwang?
I think if someone gives you people 50 songs in 3 years, that's enough.
It's a lot.
Yeah. So now I want to do things. I want to do very experimental things. However, there are very many gifted, legendary musicians, Luo musicians particularly, who are in the village. So I want to look for them.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, I want to find them. I have a studio.
Okay.
So I want to move it to
Nyanza. Which area particularly?
The entire Nyanza.
The entire Nyanza.
Yeah. So I wanna stay in Sea probably for 2 weeks or a week and a half.
Yeah.
And then go to Homa Bay. Then go back to Migori home. And then see what that whole movement can unearth.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I hope that I want to do. Yeah. And because then you keep creation of art has no end, and same thing can be applied to learning, especially in any creative venture. So when people long to get a sound and say, Nani does this sound, but that doesn't fascinate me. So I want, of course, I'm fitting in a certain sound, but I want to be able to sit there and also influence it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's an amazing project.
Staying in there.
I pray it happens. We will definitely be following through just to see that it happens. And I wish you all the best with that. Where can people find you in your music?
Find me online. So online, on Twitter, on X. on X.
We're still there.
Yes. I'm Costa Ojuang.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I had another name, man.
Well, that's perfect.
And then on Facebook, I'm Costa Ojuang.
Uh-huh.
On Instagram, Costa_Ojuang.
Okay.
However, Instagram gives you 2 accounts.
Uh-huh.
So there's my music account and my art account.
Okay.
And then on TikTok, Costa Ojuang Music.
Okay.
But then now you can stream my music on all these digital streaming platforms.
Okay.
You can Deezer it, iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify.
Spotify.
Let's get
in it.
Let's get. Come on now. Don't play with me. Don't get me started. Yeah, so Spotify, YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I have amazing lyric videos. On
Yeah.
YouTube. So YouTube, and I know I'm leaving something. Boomplay.
Aha.
Yes. So
Nice
all these
stuff.
places you can find my music.
Yes.
And streaming is free as long as you have that.
Okay. And now Icon Radio.
And Icon Radio.
There we go.
Please. Kwanza
Please.
Icon kuanzia tu saa hii.
Shaanza.
Tukiendelea.
Tuko roster tayari. We have your whole body of work.
Ndio.
We are good.
Ndio.
Wabiro is your please. Have I said it the right way?
Yes.
Okay. Wabiro is your
Oh no, you can butcher it all you want.
okay, thank you. So at least you gave me permission.
Yes.
It's your latest project.
Yes, the video.
The video is out.
Yes.
And it's streaming now. So we need to run up those numbers. Run it up on YouTube. Definitely we're streaming it here. We've been streaming it since last week. These guys have been putting it out since last week.
Kunadi horse up on our Warriors.
Hey, bus.
Come on.
Hey, we don't play. I mean,
keep preaching.
Hey. You see, my fans were hapa.
No.
They dissected it last week on New Music Friday. Hey, bus. But I'll go check it out myself. But of course, listening to it online these past few days, it's an amazing song. And looking forward to more from Costa Ojuang.
Asante.
To invite tafadhali.
Project narudi hapa.
Hata ukifanya shows to invite tutakuja, we will come. Personal invite, we will come. But thank you so much, Costa Ojuang. I don't know if you're used to being called Costa or Costa Ojuang. Sometimes.
Whatever. So listen. If someone calls me Costa Ojuang, I'm a music fan.
Okay.
Like, siku hizi najua. Costa Ojuang.
That's somebody from music.
Costa. Probably an art fan.
Okay.
Or someone who's known me slightly longer.
All right.
But you can see Ojuang. It's a village fool who's found me in this Nairobi.
It's a village.
You're from Migori, eh?
Lord Jesus. Okay, fine. Since we're peeps now, Costa it is.
Yeah, Costa.
Thank you so much, Costa. It's been an amazing time with you. It's been a hilarious time with you. Looking forward to just following you on your journey from here on.
Thank you.
All right, guys. We have next Lawrence, who is the head of communications for CAM. Stand by for that. Let's take a short break. We'll be back with more on the Breakfast Jam.
Pilogo no. Wapiro kimaino, pero wadonjo kawono. Wapiro kimaino, wanu wapiro. Wapiro kimaino, pero wadonjo tinene. Wapiro kimaino, wapiro. Mayo, 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 mayo. Pero wadonjo kawono. Wapiro kimaino, wanu wapiro. Wapiro kimaino, pero wadonjo tinene. Wapiro kimaino. Satire is the attire we wearing as we retire to the southern hemisphere. Jomilambo, mount your horses and get ready. Find your armor, your glig and glow at your molue. And now we here, radio note, you gonna hear us. Wabiro gitonge go kumba wadungremo. Na washika bango mimi nina mpango ya kufanya mambo tukisonga. We're singing songs of freedom to the walls of Jericho. Oh, yeah. Wapiro, nyone. Wapiro kimaino, nyone. Wadonjo kawono. Nyone. Wapiro kimaino.
Ngamodong to chiangongo ayaye chiangongo ngamodong to loro mudo nengano loro mudo ngamodong to chiangongo ayaye chiangongo obonyo sanga tetu to loro mudo nengano loro mudo obonyo chogolwanda magere gigori kogalo to yamomora winjo wacho pinyi pokondie kochamo Obonya chogolonda magere gigori kogalo to yamomora winjo wacho pinyi pokondie kochamo wapiro wapiro wadonjo kawonde tinende wapiro kimaino matomano wapiro 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 kimaino matomano wadonjo tinende wapiro kimaino wapiro Ngamodong to chiangongo ayaye chiangongo ngamodong to loro mudo nengano loro mudo
Basement.
I've been spending And it's a feeling in my heart, feeling in my soul, feeling me up from my head to my toes. Kama mapenzi ya kawaida, penzi siwezi kuelewa kabisa. And it's a feeling in my heart, feeling in my soul, feeling me up from my head to my toes. Sio kama mapenzi ya kawaida, penzi siwezi kuelewa kabisa. Such a sweet feeling to feel love, 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 love. Yeah, yeah, yeah. A woman in love, a woman in love. A woman in love, a woman in love. A woman in love, a woman in love. A woman in love, a woman in love.
Main Switch Production.
Siku zote nakufikiria juu ya mapenzi unayonipa, unavyonibembeleza, ndio maana wewe
Easy delivery, pombe kemikali, mapenzi halali. Nilikuanga silali, hapo awali Kanairo hakuna amani. Hakuchi on fire, can't deny. Miguu zake unzunguka kama taya. Aki bend over, ni game over. Unga na sosi mpaka naitisha sosa. Na kulishwa matamu ya roho. Naogeshwa ngoza mbichi na valishwa kidogo tu ninyonyeshwe. Dredi zangu zisokotwe, shingo ni masajiwe. Nasanifiwa, naroliwa, kisha navutishwa. Navutishwa, navutishwa. Moshi pia napuliziwa. Navutishwa, navutishwa. Naishi kama paka nalishwa. Navutishwa, navutishwa. Haya mapenzi sijalipishwa. Navutishwa, navutishwa mama.
Navutishwa mama, kuamka kung'ara na kukaa tu, kula mahaba ya kistaarabu na tabasamu bila sababu, kitandani nafunzwa adabu, kukaa kukaliwa, kulala kulaliana na kulaliwa, maisha ya gorofa, nikitoka kitandani naruka kwa sofa. Wifi imelipiwa nadekezwa upara na papaswa nabembelezwa natulizwa uso nakaliwa nasanifiwa naroliwa kisha navutishwa mama navutishwa navutishwa.
We're back on the Breakfast Jam. We're excited to have this special guest, Lawrence Jenga Kamithi. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
For those who have just met you for the first time, how would you introduce yourself?
All right. So my name is Lawrence Jenga. I'm a communication specialist with over 15 years of experience. But currently, I am working with the Kenya Association of Manufacturers.
Mm-hmm.
Really passionate about driving and enhancing our manufacturing growth as a sector, trying to see how impactful we can transition manufacturing to this economy.
Right.
Yeah, and largely, so I deal with the communications tied to advocacy as well as marketing for the Kenya Association of Manufacturers.
Amazing. Yes. The Kenya Association of Manufacturers just celebrated a milestone this year. How many years?
65 years.
65 years.
65 years.
And I was today years old just hearing about it. I was just like, and it's just amazing when we came for the awards to find out how many sectors you actually
represent.
Yes. Yeah. How many are within the association?
Yeah. So from the outset, first of all, we pride ourselves as representing manufacturing, and it's good just to define what manufacturing is. When you're looking about local manufacturers, we are looking at people who are adding value.
Mm.
Okay, so we're not looking for traders. I mean, you're not looking for that person who imports something from out of the country, repackages here, and calls it a product.
Right.
So we're looking at people who are actually adding value or product. You can import intermediate or raw materials, but transition them to a product.
Right. Right.
So when you look at it from those lenses, therefore we represent over 1,300 members. That is in terms of manufacturers. Cuts across different spectrums from the SMEs, the micros, the medium, the large corporations as well. Some corporations that are in many different countries,
Right.
others in different continents as well. And we structure ourselves in 14 sectors. So 14 key sectors.
Okay.
And then in those sectors, we have subsectors.
Okay.
So we're talking about 14 sectors with 54 subsectors.
Wow.
Because you'll find, for example, a sector like food and beverages
Right.
has a subsector like edible oils, for example.
Yeah.
Has a subsector like alcoholic drinks.
Mm.
You have a subsector, for example, a sector like construction that has subsector like cement,
Right.
the steel, and all that.
Mhm.
So that's how we've graded our members, segregated them to ensure that we are driven by member positions.
Okay.
So because how we advance our advocacy and how we drive our positions is bringing sector players together, talking to each other, sometimes looking at the different interests that every member has and seeking a compromise that works for the sector. So that if we are going to give an informed decision or position, especially in advocacy, we are offering a sector position, not an individual position.
Right.
So we 14 sector, then also grade ourselves in 8 regions,
Okay.
or sub-regions. So we have members in central Kenya, Nairobi, we have Mombasa, we have Nyanza, Western, we have the North Rift, we have the South Rift as well. So that's how we grade ourselves, just to ensure that we have good management
Right.
for members and having an association that works for our members.
So what's the mission of the association?
Yeah, so let me actually just start with our purpose first.
Okay.
So first of all, our purpose is creating prosperity for this country through sustainable industrialization.
Okay.
And therefore, how we look at driving this, especially in terms of our mission, is how we can create globally competitive local industries that really work for this country, and looking at how we can work for the domestic market as well as the international market. So that is what really drives us as an association.
Right.
And as you rightly put it, we've been here for the last 6 decades. I mean,
Wow.
65 years is not a mean accomplishment.
Yes.
Especially also looking at the age of this country. So meaning we started way before
Right.
independence.
Right.
And we are aspiring that we'll continue growing. Looking in the next 10 years, how will it look when CAM is at 75, for example? Looking at diversifying and ensuring that we have many more participants. We also know that there are a lot of manufacturers who are not part of our membership.
Right.
So we are also really trying to create a value proposition to make sure that we attract them and ensure that we create a force, that really works for this country.
You mentioned about being globally competitive.
Yes.
What's our standing currently?
Well, you can look global competitiveness in different perspectives.
Okay.
But first of all, is that as you're driving manufacturing, you have to realize that the world is a global village right now.
Right.
So you can no longer be isolated and say, this is what we do as Kenya, and other guys are doing whatever.
Right.
Because once you open up the world as a global village, it means that consumers can access products from the different parts of the world.
Right.
And therefore, how then do you ensure that your products or goods can be sold in Kenya, can be sold in the US, can be sold in any part of this globe? Is by being globally competitive. And
Right.
what we mean is ensuring that you're producing your goods in the best international standards, to ensure that your goods are quality, but they are quality so that they can stand in any part of this world. And there's different factors that, of course, affect our globalness and our competitiveness.
Right.
And we also have an index that really measures and compares countries with other countries globally, what we call the UNIDO competitive index. And Kenya currently ranks about 108 out of about 158 countries. So really that just tells you that we have a lot of work to do for us to be up there, and to ensure that our products are competitive, because there are various aspects that affect it. So for example, the cost of doing business will affect how competitive your products are, because what is your pricing compared to the similar product produced elsewhere? So because even as much as we want to drive the patriotism of we're buying what is locally produced in Kenya, the consumer is also looking at what is the value I'm getting in terms of price. So how do you ensure that by the time a product comes from another country to the country, is competitive with what you're producing here? So cost of doing business is a huge component. I'm sure probably we'll delve deeper into that. Things like the fiscal and taxation policies we have as a country. How much taxations are you doing to the local manufacturing sector? And also, what other measures are you putting to distract imports from other countries to inflow to your country? The other things, like for example, like the cost of energy. Right now, Kenya, our cost of energy in Kenya is pretty high. Compared even with the neighbors, neighbors like Tanzania, Ethiopia, for example. These are the guys we are competing with, because again, remember, we've opened up our markets.
It's been interesting to see come at the forefront lobbying for a lot of, like, you hit the news, I think, this year more than ever, because you had a hard task of fighting for the manufacturers, especially when it came to the factors of production, like you're saying, like energy. And a lot of people didn't understand that the prices of fuel going up did not only mean for the cars, it meant for also factors of
production.
How big has the fight been for CAM?
Well, credit where is due. It's more like a two-faced sword. There are good things that have happened, and also there are some other areas we feel like probably the government and other stakeholders could improve on. And we've not shied, for saying when good things have been done, and when also things that we need to improve need to be improved, we've called them out.
Very much so.
And I know you're referring to the finance, especially the finance bill of 2024, in which we really were out there, really advocating, and what we are trying to do is communicating what our members were telling us, communicating and saying, look guys, if we all want to grow this country, we all want this country to prosper, but for it to prosper, for it to create jobs, for it to create value, for it to be able to raise revenue for the government, there's some things that if are passed will really affect us. And therefore there are different parameters, and what we're trying to do is ensure that what we are talking is understandable to every Kenyan. So that you understand that your cost of living is directly proportional to the things you buy. So if the cost of bread, for example, goes up, if the cost of soap goes up, it will really also affect how your life would be, and how your living cost will be. Just like you've said, the other costs, for example, like fuel. So if you tax fuel, for example, it will increase the cost of fuel. So if you travel every day using a matatu, it means the cost of fare might go up. If you are talking about increasing cost of fuel is also a component used in generating electricity. Your cost of electricity will go up. And now looking to our manufacturers, that all these things, if they are not done correctly, they will affect how we perform. They will affect our GDP. We've been talking about how can we increase our GDP, and GDP is the gross domestic product. Is really looking at what is the value of the products and services that our country produces. So if we have to increase our GDP, we also have to increase the value of the products that we produce and services as well, because now services is also a key area. And so currently, if you look at the numbers, manufacturing contribution to GDP is about 7.6%. as of 2023, we've been working together with government and aligned that we need to increase this to 20%.
Right.
So if you look at that 7.6%, so that people understand the perspective of where we're coming from, 7.6% is in terms of job creation and employment. Manufacturing sector was able to create 362,000 waged employment. So by waged employment, you're talking about somebody employed in an office has a salary, and that person is able to pay is able to pay taxes. So we're not even looking at the indirect jobs.
Right.
Because if you have a manufacturing plant, there's a driver who will be employed to transport product. There's another guy, it all trickles down.
Right.
To the mechanic who repairs these vehicles.
Right.
To the guys who are in the logistics sector, the service sector, the guys who provide cleaning services, the guy who provide all these are things that enable manufacturing. So manufacturing is that important. And when you look at manufacturing, we are second. The sector is the second in terms of creating jobs, compared after government.
Right.
Because government is number one, the public sector. So after that, you can see why manufacturing is important. Yes, the contribution to GDP is about 7.6%, but that 7.6% is 362,000 jobs.
Yeah.
So if we want to increase that, the jobs creation, and we grow manufacturing to GDP, GDP contribution from 7.6 to 20%, we are looking at growing times 3. So we are looking at how can we create 1 million jobs.
Right.
So we'll be talking about 1 million jobs in terms of wage employment.
Yeah.
In terms of tax contribution, currently we contribute about 18% of all total taxes to the government. So if you're saying we want to improve that 3 times, you can just imagine the value that will be growing. So and I think that just gives you the perspective of why manufacturing is important and why we're out there speaking, not really seeking to shame anybody, but seeking to talk to the government, talking to our policymakers for them to understand, because that is really what is important for people to understand.
To understand. Yeah. You mentioned the positives.
Yes.
We've been weighed down by the negatives.
Yes.
When you say the positive, what are the positives?
So, but in terms of positive, what I was meaning is this: sometimes, if, like for example, we've opened up our markets. Kenya now has access to regional, continental, and international markets.
Okay.
For example, we are in the EAC region. So, as a way of seeking trade within these countries, the governments within the EAC have been trying to remove the blocks, the trading blocks that have existed for a long time, to ensure that there is free movement of goods and services within the East African continent. Right. Now, if you have access to go to Uganda and Tanzania as a country, and remember, if you compare Kenya to Tanzania, Kenya is way ahead in terms of our economy. Then it means you have to enable your products to be competitive in these regions. Because if you don't do that, then what that means is that goods from Tanzania and Uganda will have an inflow into Kenya. Now we've opened up EFCT, the African continent, through EFCFTA. That's the Africa Free Trade Continental Trade Agreement. We've opened up the EU, right? So for the government to help us to export, the government also puts up some policies, especially in terms of taxes and levies, to prevent imports from these countries coming to Kenya. So what that means is that the government has done some considerable good things, especially in taxing the finished products that come to the country, so that you give an upper edge to the locally produced.
So that's the taxation they were trying to make us understand.
That's how the government has looked at it.
Okay.
However, they forgot and included taxation of some inputs.
Right.
So that some inputs are not locally available in
the country, or
not adequate. So therefore, sometimes we import inputs.
Okay.
Especially like, for example, if you're doing cement, if you're doing steel and all these products. For example, cooking oil. We don't have palms in Kenya, so import the crude oil from Malaysia and Indonesia. So when you bring it in Kenya, then now you crack it and you do the manufacturing for you to get the cooking oil, the edible oil, the soap, and other byproducts that are used in that chain. So what we're trying to tell the government, for example, is please don't put taxes and levies on imported inputs, but on finished goods.
Right.
So the idea is good. The idea is to prevent importation, but it should be importation of finished goods, not importation of inputs. So that's the perspective I was talking about. And
Okay.
again, also the government has really, there's some areas where the government has worked pretty well
Yeah.
in terms of promoting local manufacturing. We have good engagement with the government, with the CS in charge of the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. So we are not saying that all is lost. So we
Right.
say we are admitting, yes, there's some positives, but also equally there are some areas that we can improve. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, how does manufacturing contribute to Kenya's economic transformation?
Right. That's a good question. So I'll take you back. Kenya is, we're looking to develop economy to be like developed world, right? So if you mention developed economies, you're looking at the US, you're looking at Europe, you're looking at Asia, for example, countries in Asia. And that's where our aspiration is, isn't it? We keep on hearing this context of 30 years ago, 60 years ago,
Right.
Kenya and Singapore Kenya was doing better than Singapore, but today Singapore is developed and Kenya is not developed. And therefore, we have to ask ourselves, what did these guys do that Kenya did not do?
Right.
And the simple answer to that is that they industrialized the economy. And I can dare tell you, even if you look today in the internet, there is no developed country that has developed without having manufacturing or industrialization at the pillar of their transformation. And therefore, we're saying that for Kenya to transform, for Kenya to develop, manufacturing has to be at the cornerstone of that. So
Right.
for us to be industrialized,
Well.
because it is the best route to create jobs, much needed jobs. It is the best route to improve our output as a country. It is also the best route to increase government revenue and so on and so forth. So that's why manufacturing is really, really important. So in Kenya, for example, our transformational ambition, as I've said, is to increase our output to GDP to 20%.
Right.
So how do we increase our jobs from 360,000 to 1 million jobs? How does Kenya improve its tax obligation, revenue raising measures to ensure that we have more revenue for the government, isn't it? Because right now the country is really suffering from an influx of debt. We have a lot of debt that we need to repay.
Right.
We are still getting more debts, whether you call it through the direct way of borrowing or through the public-private partnerships, because we have to pay.
Right. Right.
And how do we ensure that our deficit, our trade deficit in terms of government spending and revenue, it's not widening? So how do we ensure that, as KRA have said, that if government gets 100 shillings, 60 shillings goes to debt repayment, and they only have 40% to do recurrent expenditure, pay salaries, and also develop. It can only be through manufacturing.
Right.
Right now, a lot of our manufacturers are operating below capacity, which means that they're not, hitting the maximum output that they can do. So what we should do as a country is to support the manufacturing sector. Let our manufacturers operate at full capacity, then attract more investments, both domestic and international investment.
Right.
And that's how we're going to grow and transform our economy. Otherwise, if we turn our economy to be an import, like a dumping site for imports,
Right.
there's no way we're going to grow.
In fact, you've effectively mentioned the challenges
Yes.
That is facing the economic transformation, especially with the evolving world of robotics, AI. It sees a lot of even people who have gone for vocational training at a very disadvantaged space. Being that the challenges are listed out, which are easy to list out, what are the opportunities?
Yes, the opportunities are there. We have a lot of opportunities, and you've rightly said that the globe is changing very fast, and we're in a space whereby if you don't change, then you'll be out of business
Right.
pretty soon. Stories told about the conduct and the innovation of cameras, the digital camera, and how it killed conduct. Innovation is talked about the Nokia, for example,
Right.
and how If you don't transform, then you find yourself out, isn't it? So therefore, we should accept the changes that are happening globally positively, and ensure that we can use the new technologies, the robotics, the AI that is coming to play, not as a competitor. Let's not look at a competitor, but look at how can we utilize them to increase our productivity and efficiency. Because if today I'm able to automate my processes, it means that if, for example, I was doing 100,000 per hour for a commodity, with automation and robotics, I can increase that maybe to 1 million. So then what would that mean? That you're able to create more jobs, especially in terms of the value chains that you have. You're also able to increase your output. You're also able to decrease your costs and increase efficiency. So it means the overall output of that is that if it's, for example, the cost of products, they definitely go down. So then it will impact everybody. So if I increase my productivity today, it means I'll also increase my output in terms of revenue, in terms of taxes to the government. It means also that you're able to support the other value chains, the logistics, the transport sector, and the like. Then again, the AI also provides us an opportunity to relook at our skills provisions, because if the industry will change, that means we also have to change our skill set. So that if you are using a manual thing, then now you're improving to high tech computerized mechanization, talking about the Internet of Things, whereby everything is connected to the internet. These things will still need people who are highly skilled to run them. So we have to transform our curriculum, ensure that even what we're teaching in our universities, what we're teaching in our vocational training, changes with technology. Because today we are talking about the evolution of the EV,
electric vehicles.
That doesn't mean that you're chasing away the mechanic who was repairing your car. It just means that you need to increase your specialization and skill set, because the same EVs would still need such kind of resources to be able to run. So therefore, as a country, we have to look at how we improve our skill set to be rife to the current happenings of the world, to ensure that the industry, the requirements of the industry and what the industry needs, we are able to give that to the industry.
Then how is it then effectively sensitized and communicated? Because a lot of people who run some of these companies are still set in their ways. Transformation is often not easy. We saw it with the move from cash to digital, even just with eCitizen. It was not an easy task. How do these heads of them and chairmen of industry now get enough information to be able to now say, okay, fine, I am able to move to this new way?
So at the member level at KM, we had already done that.
Okay.
We're helping our members do that. So, for example, we have a department called the CAM Academy that basically looks at the skill sets that the industry requires and will require.
Okay.
And organizes curriculum, whether they're short courses, both levels, from the top to the bottom, to ensure that our people are well informed of the changes that are happening. Whether, for example, it's on circular economy, whether it's on the green manufacturing, whether it's on, for example, now AI and robotics. So we set ourselves and also partner with other like-minded organizations. For example, with the rise of digital science and AI, we are partnering with Moringa School, for example, that is really well equipped in terms of delivering curriculum based on data science and AI, to be, and even picking up some of their students as interns and digital and management trainees that can be picked up by our members, so that we have a database whereby a member X will come and say, I need a specialized trainer in this sense. We're able to direct them towards that.
Right.
And I know that's just scratching the surface, but also working with other stakeholders, both government, both the universities that we have at the moment, to ensure that the skill set that is coming out is fit for the industry. it is fit for the transition that we're going. Because who knows, in the next 5 years from now, with the changes that are happening, we probably even what we have today will be relevant.
Right.
So therefore, the only thing you can do is be agile enough to be able to change, to be able to accept change. Of course, change is not always easy. You'll always get some quarters who don't like change.
Right.
But as we've seen, in a situation where you have to change or you out. I mean, COVID showed us that.
Right.
And also showed our resilience as a people, as a country, as a sector.
Right.
That sometimes you have to change when change is brought to you. You know, we don't have an option. But proactively, we are working with our members, with our CAM Academy, and also the other partnerships that we are getting, just to ensure that we inform them, and they are also aware about the happenings that are happening in the world.
Is CAM actively involved in policy making for a lot of?
Yes, a lot. So a lot of what happens, even, I mean, if you look at the number of years that have passed, CAM has been a great contributor in even what ends up in the budget, the Kenyan budget, because government has always realized that because of the sector that we run, that our members are very important, and it's very hard for government to get perspectives of individual players, and therefore, as an association, we're able to bring together all these members together to look at our policies and how we defend policies, whether it's through giving views, giving feedback. Every time the government wants to introduce a different bill or a different policy, they send us a chance for our members to participate. So we bring our members together, collate them together, put them in boardrooms, they discuss, they talk, they look at how the future is, and how what impact will the bills and the different fiscal policies that we have on them. Because one of the challenges we've been saying right now is that we have an unpredictable taxation environment in Kenya.
Right.
Right now, we don't know what will happen 3 years from now. Nobody knows about next year. We will have another finance bill. What will be the contents of the finance bill, and what impact that will do? So we help in terms of ensuring that we are proactive enough to engage with government. Where we can, we sit in boardrooms and say this provision is not good. What you're trying to do will not have good impact to the industry, and suggest ways that we can improve existing and also upcoming policies. So we work really hard on that, and that's our biggest arm that we do in terms of advocacy. Of course, backed by fact-based research, fact-based data, impact assessments. Because, like, for example, right now, if you ask the government to tell you the impact of what the Finance Act 2023 did to the economy,
right,
they can't tell you because they've not done that research. So we try to do that from an industry perspective, and ensuring that we go to the government, to the table with facts, and therefore that's how we're able to shape policies. That's how we're able to advocate for good policies and the various policies.
On a lighter note, we love how you fought for our bread.
Yeah.
As in, you made news for 2 weeks. So we're like, yes, come, yes. Let them not raise our bread prices.
Yeah, among many others.
Yes. So the one thing that impressed me during your awards was your drive towards sustainability.
Yes.
It was, for the interviews we had, it was a conversation on everyone's lips. Like, it was a set curriculum, and I loved it because now industries have to take a closer look into climate action, sustainability, and creating a sustainable way of manufacturing. What was the drive for you this year, for CAM this year, in regards to sustainability?
Good. So sustainability has really been a key thing for CAM, like you rightly put it. And one of the initiatives we've been doing it is through the Energy Management Awards, as you clearly put it, which is in its 17th year this year. So we've really worked on this for the last 17 years.
Wow.
Even conversations around energy
Yeah.
and sustainability hadn't really gained
Yeah,
much momentum.
you guys had the foresight.
Yes, we had the foresight, but also we have to recognize that we've been working very closely with the Ministry of Energy, because it's also a partnership that we've done between industry and government, and along the way we have conducted a lot of energy audits, whereby we invite companies to go through a very rigorous exercise of looking at how they handle energy and auditing their processes and giving them suggestions and solutions towards how they can conserve energy,
Right.
how they can improve the performances, and we've reported quite significant successes from companies who have come to us and said, okay, wow, because of the energy audits that you did and the initiatives that you proposed, we were able to save a lot of costs in terms of energy, and also ensuring that that they are aware of course of the conversation we're having in terms of climate change and sustainability. So that's really key. Also sustainability in the sense that just beyond energy, that our manufacturers are actually practicing sustainable manufacturing in the sense that you're reducing waste, you're ensuring that where you can, you're able to recycle, and ensuring that also how do we interact with the environment, how do we ensure that whatever processes that we do have little or minimal impact to the environment. So those are things that are really at the heart of us as CAM. And along the way, we've also supported own initiatives. For example, the setup of KEPRO. KEPRO is an initiative by CAM,
Right.
whereby we realize that for us to have a specialized way of dealing with sustainability and climate change, we set up many organizations that drive that as something for our members, as we focus on the main core functions of CAM in terms of advocacy and the core businesses that we do.
Actually, there's an awards for Kepro today.
Yes.
Taking place today. It's interesting that you mentioned. That's interesting.
We host KEPRO.
Yeah.
Because again, they still work for our members.
Right.
It's one of the value propositions that we give our members. But now with KEPRO on matters of sustainability and environmental, they are able to follow through with our members, because we realize it's not enough at all. It's not something that we can give one desk to be dealing with. So you need a robust plan to ensure that our members are satisfied, even in how they're responded to, or we're able to act on the calls.
Right.
The call to us. Yes.
What do you see is the future for CAM, especially when it comes to now the economic transformation? I know the biggest question on a lot of people's minds is job creation.
Yes. Yes.
And thankfully for the initiatives like KEPRO, at least we're seeing a lot more opportunities coming up, especially now when it comes to also not only KEPRO, just sustainability as a whole. And it's creating jobs out of where people would never have thought of before. But what do you see is the future of CAM within the...
So the future of CAM in the context of our country's transformation, we look at it and we see we're going to play a very big role. We've sat down and looked at CAM the next 10 years, the next 20 years. Of course, we would really want to be influential. Influential, but also very realistic in terms of what we are pushing to drive the transformational change. We've already set out first that our goal by 2030 is to, of course, have this increment, the 3 times growth. We know it's an ambition that is also pretty high, and we are confident that with our members and the right stakeholders and the right frameworks in place, we can be able to achieve this. So we are looking at how we can enhance our value addition as an industry, and ensuring that we're increasing our exports. Then we are reducing imports of finished products into the country, and ensuring that our competitiveness at domestic, regional, continental, and international level has significantly increased. Then again, also working with government to ensure that we are putting in place the right physical and the policies that are pro manufacturing,
right,
to be able to drive that transformation.
Mm.
We've done some good work looking at every sector and going to deep dive of what is really ailing each sector, and looking at what are the key asks that the government can be able to offer us. What are the things that we as manufacturers can be able to do
Mhm.
to generate growth and generate value in those sectors? And we've seen the opportunity that are right there, and the future looks really really great. It is just that we just need to fix a few things here and there. Some of them are behavioral as Kenyans. For example, if you look at the leather sector, for example, Africa amounts to 20% of all livestock in the whole world.
Mm.
But if you look at the hides, other than the meat, we eat the meat and you throw away the skin. Some
Right.
places you throw away the skin to the dogs.
Mm.
Especially in Kenya, some parts of West Africa, it's also consumed as food.
Mm.
But the skin, the hides and the skins, we only fully manufacture or industrialize and add value to only 4%.
Oh, wow.
From the 20% we have as a continent,
Right.
we only add value to about 4%.
Mhm.
And when you look close at in the country, we are the third country with most livestock in Africa.
Mm.
We are only second to Botswana and Ethiopia.
Right.
So then that gives us a huge opportunity that we can quickly tap in. Those low
Hanging fruits.
hanging fruits, that we can pick up, because currently that sector employs about 17,000 people. Direct formal jobs. We believe we can increase this in the next 7 years to 200,000 people.
Mm.
And a lot of these jobs will support the micros.
Yeah.
The micro, the guy who does the shoes in the village,
Mhm.
the guy who does shoes for schools,
Mhm.
children's in the estate and all that.
Mm.
And the opportunities are huge. Just to give an example, for example, every year we have a demand for school-going children who need shoes.
Mm.
They require about 4 million pairs of shoes. 4 million pairs
Wow.
of shoes. So, unfortunately, a lot of this percentage goes to imported shoes.
Mm.
But if we were to just take that, for example, as a low-hanging fruit, you can just imagine the transformation that we can do as a country.
Mhm.
Italy is one of the leading exporters of leather
Right.
products in terms of shoes. I mean, everybody wants Italian shoes.
Right.
It's either Turkish or Italian. Isn't
Yes.
it? But they import these raw hides. They import hides from us. But by the time that hide comes back to the country, it is transformed and so much value,
Right.
some crazy percentage,
Right.
So if we were to transition that and really add value to the different sectors,
Yeah.
leather is just one, then we can really transform this country.
Mhm.
And also just to ensure that we also call on Kenyans that we also have to believe in our own.
Mm.
We also have to support our own,
Mm.
and ensure that as the government has been pushing for Buy Kenya, Build Kenya,
Mm.
that we support our own,
Right.
so that our local manufacturers do their best to give high quality products,
Mhm.
but then also Kenyans also are able to support.
Mm.
On the government side, definitely we will be calling on a couple of things. For example, the reduction to cost of doing business, especially looking at the cost of energy. If there's a way we can be able to reduce the cost of energy,
Right.
then definitely that can in turn reduce our cost of production. If we can fix our issues around unfavorable taxation policy in place, we need to have a good predictive environment whereby an investor invests today knowing the next 5 years, this will be my requirement,
Right.
so that again, we don't come next year and there's a sudden change, for example, like what will happen this year, with affordable housing levy and shift, which add on costs,
Right.
For the manufacturer, and also creating a favorable place to reduce the cost of living, because that means Kenyans will have
More
an
spending
increase in
power.
consumable, in disposable income,
Right.
and of course will be able to buy from us.
100%. You've given us amazing insights, at least into manufacturing. I am excited to see that 3 times by the time 2030 hits. I believe in the power of job creation, especially through manufacturing. Absolutely. And I think CAM is doing a fantastic job, especially now, both with manufacturing and sustainability. Parting shots.
Yes. So my parting shot will be to Kenyans that this country is ours and we have no option but to work and build our country. I like the calls for the government to be accountable, the calls by especially the Gen Z, and we've come to agree that Gen Z is literally not the age. It's the mentality shift.
Right.
You know, we are all Gen Zs in our mentality.
Right.
We all want the government to be accountable. We all want the government to improve in terms of their governance, to ensure that we kill corruption, to ensure that we reduce wastage, to ensure that there's value for the taxes that we pay. And just tell Kenyans that we have a reason to be hopeful because the opportunities in this country are enormous. And if we're able to fix the issues that really, that are biting us, then we can transform ourselves as a country.
Right.
Other countries have done it. We've seen, our neighbors are doing it. If we can be able to work together and everybody does their part, the government does their part, as Kenyans do our part, then we have reason to be hopeful that we can transform this country and ensure that we create prosperity for all of us, we create worth for all of us, and we ensure that we create the jobs, we create the much needed jobs for our youth, and ensure that we reduce the desperation that is currently in the country. So I see a good future for this country. I'm very positive, and I'm a positive person in nature, and so I see there's reason to have hope.
Right.
We can fix the right areas that needs to be fixed.
100%. Where can we reach out to CAM? And follow?
Yes. So CAM, we are both reachable from. You can reach us on our website, www.km.co.ke. We are very interactive on the social media space. You can reach us on the social media handles like at CAM_Kenya. You can reach us on Kenya Social Manufacturers on Facebook. We are also on Instagram as well, and on LinkedIn as well. So you can always be able to reach out to us, and I will be happy and more glad to talk to you.
Great. And where can we follow you? You have a lot of great insights. I'm sure you're great on LinkedIn as well.
Yes. So I also have my own social media handles. So on Twitter, I'm at Lawrence Jenga. On Facebook as well, and Lawrence Jenga, and on LinkedIn as well, where I think LinkedIn and Twitter are the spaces whereby I'm more active.
Right.
So LinkedIn as well, Lawrence Jenga, and Twitter at Lawrence Jenga.
Great.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Lawrence. We look forward to having more conversations with you in future. Carry you back to Icon Radio anytime.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. And also, it's been a pleasure having this conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you for hosting me.
All right. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. If you do have any questions for Lawrence, remember you can reach out to them directly. We'll be resharing this. And remember, it's going to be a rerun on YouTube, so you can get to watch it again and find out more insights from Lawrence. Have a fantastic day ahead. We'll see you guys tomorrow.